Okay, we have ourselves a green box. We have ourselves a live counter ticking up. Going to assume that means we are live, and that means welcome back, everybody, to the Storytime Network. It is technically the Paradox Hour, and we are talking about summer anime. We are wrapping up the season as, Funimation and Mal have already moved on to fall, despite the fact that Remake and D_side finished today, which was not easy for me as somebody watching both of them.
Jeez. Oh, I had thought that Sonny Boy was going to be the last one to finish up because that finished on the 30th.
D-side, I honestly thought was 12 episodes. No, it turned out to be 13. And Remake, I believe, had a week delay at some point.
That will do it.
Either way, it is also the awards show today, as I know, because I have spent most of today setting it up. It was quite stressful. Frankly, if I had Redestro's power, I would be able to take down a city block. Which is a reference I'm making because I caught up on, I think, 5-6 episodes of My Hero today.
Jeez, dude.
I should just watch it weekly, but I always keep forgetting. I don't know why. I've also haven't actually finished season 5 yet because the dub hasn't actually got the final episode out yet.
You know what happens because you read the manga.
I mean, yeah, I pretty much know what happens. I mean, by the looks of it, it was mostly it wasn't like anything too important either, really, other than the last, 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Was mostly, it looked like it was more just a sort of a recap, but that we'll get onto that when we talk about My Hero, because up first is Aquatope of White Sand, the show that has heteronormativity and capitalism as villains.
Also, just as a general spoiler warning for the entirety of this podcast,
I'm keeping the
we have a
spoiler warning up. If you want to know what show we are talking about, type !anime in the chat. I will try and keep on top of that. But yes, spoiler warning for the entire show is pretty much. What I will say is I haven't watched episode 13 of this, which dropped on Thursday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's
we'll.
probably for the best because that one is
It, if
basically
it,
started us.
I was gonna say it feels like it's just starting the next core,
Yeah,
which is
but
why
no.
I didn't feel like I needed to watch it. Um, but
But
yeah,
I really like this show, even though I do have some notable issues with it.
it's a good show. It's just not yet as good as I hoped it would be.
Yeah, same. My two biggest issues, I think, are just the sister thing that just kind of feels like it's shoehorned in. It
Yeah,
doesn't feel like really unnatural plot progression.
and when we say
And
that, we should point out that when we say the sister thing, we don't mean the whole, oh, hey, Kukuru, you had a twin sister who died in the womb, I'm fairly sure. Just thought we'd throw that out there. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that the narrative seems intent on pushing Kukuru and Fuka's relationship as sisters rather than as girlfriends, which is what pretty much 90% of the audience got out of their relationship.
mhm.
The other 10%, of course, being the homophobes.
Yes. I could honestly see if they had developed it as a romantic relationship or even just as a strong platonic friendship, that would have worked a lot better than trying to force it being like, oh, you wanted a sister figure instead. Oh, that's so crazy, right?
Yeah,
No, it doesn't work. It really does not work.
it doesn't.
The other big issue I had is Kai is
That's
just kind of
that.
there.
That ties more in. That sort of ties into the first issue as well, because hey, the narrative really wants us to think that Kai has a shot with Kukuru.
The problem is there's no romantic chemistry there whatsoever.
There is definitely chemistry there, but yeah, it's not really
And
romantic. It's friendship.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, is like Kai of the entire ensemble cast has the least character development.
Yeah.
Like, with the possible exception of Uda, the side character who mostly just is comic relief.
Mm. I'd also maybe chuck Umiyan in there, as much as I love him.
Yeah, but Beyond had an entire focus episode based around him.
I feel like Kai did as well.
Yeah, his focus episode got hijacked by Kukuru.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So Kai really didn't get a focus episode. Not
Yeah.
really.
Oh well. I mean, my issue would be is that Fuka took sort of the back seat after well, not even after a certain point in the season, after probably episode 2 or 3. It was very much Kukuru based, which is fine until you realise that the second core appears to be Kukuru based as well.
I mean, part of my issue as well is that I think Fuka is the more interesting character.
Yeah, pretty much. She kind of is. I do like Kukuru.
I like her too. It's just I don't think that her dynamic with Fuka is kind of what carries the show, and without Fuka around for the second core, which looks looks kind of likely given that Fuka leaves at the end of the first core.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to sustain the show without the relationship, especially if Kukuru's on her own.
Well, that is the point, isn't it? Is that the first core's narrative was about Gamma Gamma closing, which obviously Kukuru's going to take the like spotlight in that one because Gamma Gamma is her life. And instead of sort of giving sort of the second core to Fuka, it's again focusing on Kukuru as far as we can tell. Certainly based on the key visual and the PV that we have seen. Not to mention, we are getting more of what the fuck was her name? Chiyu Hayabaru, who was kind of the worst.
Oh, the asshole, yes.
Yeah. Kind of the worst last time she was there, which...
She's kind of just an absolute bitch.
You know what? Like, actually,
I'm gonna... The most passive-aggressive person in the cast, by far.
So, here's the thing. Chiyu and Fuka look very similar. Like, the only difference is eye colour, I would say.
And hair length.
And hair length to an extent. Put it this way, when I saw the key visual, I thought it was Fuka.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
And this would be one of the worst, maybe the second worst way they could take it. The worst being obviously Kukuru ending up with Kai, but Kukuru actually ending up in a relationship with Chiyu, and it's just like you couldn't have put it with Fuka. They look the same.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, I should change.
Kind of hilarious, but very weird.
I should change the image as well. I just wanted to, put that out there. That's a hell of a thing to throw out. That really is just like fairly blandly and out of nowhere. It's like, hey, you had a twin sister who died. But yeah, no, like, just how can you not read pretty much every interaction Kukuru and Fuka have had since probably episode 3, I would say.
3 or 4.
As, romantic. I still argue there are so many like fucking screenshots that are just like there is no heterosexual explanation for this. I mean, it's still an enjoyable show. Like, I'm still invested in the characters.
It's still very good. It's an easy top 5 show of the season. Partially because the season's really weak overall, but
yeah,
it's
not the strongest of seasons, but at the same time, yeah, it's
just still a good show.
It's definitely a good show, yeah.
It's just there are noticeable glaring issues that prevent it from reaching the top of the pack, in my opinion. Regardless, we can move on to the next show on the list.
Oh, do we have to? It's battle game in 5 seconds. Just give me a second
Yeah, have fun with this.
while I do Nightbot. I dropped this. I just could not be bothered uh, going more
Understandable.
into
Have a nice
this.
day.
Where did I fucking drop this? Episode, I think end of episode 8, start of episode 9. Like, I think I tried to watch episode 9 and was just like, I can't be bothered. And looking at that visual, I made the right choice. It's never looked brilliant, but Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
Jesus, what the? Oh, God. He's
That
being attacked
CG
by
model
bad
is just
CG.
not good. They kept doing CG models and it never looked good.
Studio Orange, this ain't.
Yeah. And it's made worse by the fact there are, two shows that had good CG animation. This was not one of them. Um, yeah, it's just not very interesting. Like, apparently, I kept up with it via the A&N reviews. Poor bastard who had to watch it because I think it was, what was it, Christopher Farris, who had also like the worst fucking shows in the rest of the season. Like his
I was
line,
gonna say, didn't he have like the worst lineup of all
his
the
lineup
viewers?
was Battle Game in 5 seconds, Peach Boy Riverside, Standing on a Million Live Season 2, and Detective is Already Dead. Like
Ow.
there were no worse shows on the fucking list of A&N shows. Like, could not have gotten a worse list.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, meanwhile, fucking Mercedes got Aquatope, Kageki, Remake, and Jahy, which is probably up there for one of the best lineups.
As I said on Discord, she made off like a fucking bandit.
She did. Yeah, this just wasn't very interesting after a while. I mean, the whole thing of, like, Akira's power is interesting, but they didn't do anything interesting with it. They just kept giving him the same, like, 4 powers. Like, and, like, this guy and his, I think, brother were the antagonists for the final act, and it was just like, meh. I don't really care about them. Yeah, I just. Oh, fucking wrestler dude who's voiced by. Let me check. I know it's
By your
somebody I
favorite
like.
voice actor, Kenjiro Suda?
No, Yuichi Nakamura, who I actually like. Lost a hand, and I just didn't care.
Fucking rip.
You lost it in the episode that I said, and the fact that somebody thought that the voice they gave Mion was a good idea. It was not a good idea.
Is it Mion the cat girl with the high pitched voice that
Mion
everyone
with
hated?
the cat girl with the voice that makes me actively not want to watch.
It seems that worked at what it was doing because you dropped it.
The one who had the voice where literally every time she came on, she talked, I muted.
That's rough.
Because I didn't want to listen to her speak. Now, apparently, the voice actress, Mayumi Shintani, is apparently quite good. I didn't hear it.
I mean, I think I've seen her in some other stuff, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
Let's have a look on Mal.
I don't memorize every voice actor's names, just the ones that are like notable or pop up a lot.
The mum in Gridman.
Oh.
Haruko Harahara in Fulikuli Alternative.
Haven't seen that.
Fex Lucia in Promare.
Interesting.
As said, I just couldn't stand her really.
Fair.
Yeah, I dropped the show. I'm not like ashamed of it. I'm not like upset that I couldn't be bothered. No, this deserved to be dropped. It deserved to be dropped earlier, honestly. The fact that I managed to make it to episode 8 is a sign of how
Miracle.
Not even a miracle, it's just a sign of how kind of dry this season was. But I'm gonna move on to a show I actually did enjoy for the most part. Case study of Vanitas. Unfortunately, it's another show with heteronormativity as a villain. Probably the greatest villain of the show, which says a lot considering how many villains were in the show.
This one, I think, works works fairly well if you interpret it as the entire main cast being a bunch of disaster bisexuals, but
Yeah,
at the same time, there is a little bit more than a little bit of heteronormativity thrown in there.
and the worst part of it is I'm actually kind of a fan of Noe and Dominique. Like I would actually
Yeah,
be,
I like them.
I would actually be kind of okay if they did end up together. But the other side of it is Vanitas and John, and nobody wants to see that end up together.
No, because Vanitas is a fucking shit gremlin.
Yeah, an entertaining one to be fair for the most part, but it's definitely a shit gremlin.
Yeah, like with Vanitas, like the problem with having him in a relationship with Jean as opposed to literally anyone else, even Noe, is that the relationship with Jean is built on a very shitty foundation.
The relationship with John is based on him sexually harassing her in like their second meeting.
Yeah, exactly. A really shitty foundation for any kind of relationship whatsoever.
Yeah, and the fact is that he keeps doing it.
Yeah, he does not seem to recognize her boundaries. Or if he does, he is purposely pushing them.
Yeah, and like I liked the in the last couple of episodes, John, trying to get him disinterested. Unfortunately, Vanitas is a far better bluffer than she is.
And he's also a far better manipulator than she is.
I'll,
So
ad-
it
I'll, ad-
backfires.
yeah, I'll admit I found those two episodes funny.
Yeah.
I
It,
tried
it
to
ended
go
the season on strong notes.
I tried to go into it with an air of disapproval for the whole thing, but it won me around with the just sheer comedy of knowing that this was not going to go well.
Not to
Um,
mention Domi and was it Dante
Dante, yes, just following
watching
along
it.
and just like, um,
Just look at that face of regret that Dante has in that
yeah,
screenshot.
he doesn't know why he is tagged along on this. He does not know at all. Um, I forget where we actually ended off the last stream. Did we talk about Roland and his
Nope.
wonderful buffness?
Roland is a himbo.
Roland is 100% a himbo, and I love him.
Yeah, like I was worried at first that it would be a really bad Knight Templar type character, but no, he's just an enjoyable himbo.
Yeah, I know. I just loved him, and I loved his fight with Noe.
That was fun.
Oh, we did talk a
Also,
bit. We did talk a bit about Roland because the screenshot was of them entering the fucking doctor's
right,
lab,
right.
and
Oh yeah, Dr. Moreau, that fucking
Dr.
freak.
Moreau, that fucker. Wow, those was sure some episode. That was sure an episode about him. Um,
Jesus.
he sure is a guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
he is a guy.
to a certain extent, I'm forgetting the episodes because it's been a few weeks and a lot has happened. Um,
Yeah, and this show was just it was wild.
I mean,
Wild as
we do also have to talk about the fact that Ruth then is
evil.
apparently a villain. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, what I mean, I got sketchy vibes from him from the start, but like the last two episodes just cemented him as evil.
I mean, yeah.
Or at the very least, like a villain.
Hmm. And he has brainwashed Noe question mark.
I think he put like a trigger phrase in him or something.
I mean, he may be cursed considering how fucking thirsty Noe was for Vanitas' blood. I'm gonna switch since we're
That
talking about Noe.
that entire sequence was great.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Again, just how are you pushing this into heterosexual territory? How? When you have a scene like that.
Just that was like a 3-minute monologue about how much Noe wants to suck Vanitas, his blood.
Mm.
Yeah, no.
And to be
There is
fair,
so much homoeroticism in that sequence.
oh, so much, so much. And I'll give Vanitas credit. He does seem to realize that this is not normal behavior for Noe, which is good.
Yeah,
Because other shows would
Mhm.
have him just be like complete
blissfully ignorant.
blissfully ignorant until Noe finally takes a bite out of him at the behest of Ruth. Then. Um, and yeah, it's got a second call coming in winter 2022, which hey, I didn't expect, but I'm actually quite glad about because this is a fun show. I wish it was slightly less skeevy.
Yeah. It's
But
still overall a very strong show, even if I have my gripes with it.
it is definitely still a strong show. It certainly managed its skeeviness better than another show on this list, which we will get to. Um, and to the point where, I enjoy the characters and I am intrigued by the storyline. One last thing for me. Apparently, Ayumi Murase is voicing a character in this. I didn't
Oh boy.
hear him.
Um,
He is
hmm.
apparently voicing a pink-haired, I'm going to guess, boy called Astolfo Granatum or Astolfo of Garnet.
I think that's a character for next season.
I know, but he's apparently in this. He got announced for this season, which is what confused me.
Oh, I think he was in that scene with the other members of Roland's Order. Because they're named, I think they're named after the Paladins of Charlemagne.
Very possibly. I
Because I
just,
know
I just,
Roland and Astolfo are the most famous ones.
I just like getting some Murase in my life.
That's fair.
Um, so moving on to the first of my two CG shows, D underscore side Traumerei the animation. Finished this today, binged most of it today actually, or certainly the second half. It's not a bad show.
Huh.
It does not deserve its rating on Mal because it's not a bad show. It's a dumb show, and just like the other CG show, it was far too ambitious with its world building.
I forget, is this the one with the knocker-ups, or is
This is
it
the
the
one
other
with the
one?
knocker ups and the dog hands, yes. Which I will show you here because I've been promising it. These are the dog hands. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't know what went through the mind of the creator when they made this,
Drugs. Drugs went through the creator's mind.
but they are a thing. I'm gonna switch back because I do like this. So let me think about. So thankfully, the whole Ryuhei being a bitch over foreigners stopped being a thing.
Good. Less xenophobia is always good.
It was less xenophobia and more just him being a jealous bitch about some dude from an island coming in and overshadowing him.
Oh,
It was just
still.
it was the worst part of the show. Second worst was in episode 9 when a dude who was clearly scared about his future became a dreamer and caught three of them in a time loop, and their reaction was to call him a bitch and a baby.
Oh, wow.
It's like, that's harsh. Come on. And then they just stood there while he basically, like, when he offered up his wish, which basically results in him dying. Which, again, seemed harsh. They just stood there and watched him do it. They could have done something about it. But no, they're just going to stand there and watch him do this. What else? Whatchamacallit, Ryuhei's dead brother was actually taken over by the villain. which, resulted in your typical "no, I am your brother" situation, which was fun. Oh, that's right. Episode 10 had a gay character.
Oh, was he or she handled well?
He voiced by Murase while we're talking about him as well. At least I'm fairly sure it was. It was either him or Daiki Yamashita. I've apparently mixed them up before. I'm fairly sure it was Murase. Interestingly enough, there's also a character called Murase in this show, which made things a little confusing.
Okay, but was the gay character handled well?
That's what I'm trying to figure out in my head. Yes and no. Yes and no. On the one hand, he. Well, on the one hand, they saved him. He didn't die the way other Villain of the Weeks did. On the other, he was kind of the villain being clingy about it. But they talked him down. I think it was a net positive overall.
Well, at least they didn't kill off the gay character.
They didn't kill him off, no. And, they... To be fair, they didn't treat his attraction to Ryuhei as a joke. They didn't, mock him for it. His sexuality was never made the butt of a joke or anything like that. He was just treated as a guy with a crush who got rejected and, got manipulated. Which, to be fair, was done for... I'm willing to bet it was done for a heterosexual character earlier in the show. I can't remember if it was, but I don't remember. But I'm willing to bet it was, because why wouldn't it be? So I think net positive in the end.
Good. That's good.
Also, Ryuhei got fucking stabbed.
Lucky him.
And then, oh god, the final episode fucking aped Dragon Ball so hard.
How so?
First things first, Ryuhei went super knocker-upper Saiyajin. Yeah, the name's never going to be not funny. It's always going to be hilarious, and especially when I was just, yelling, "Super knocker-up!" as he, basically became Super Saiyan. Somehow healing his gaping stomach wounds as well. And then the way he won was everybody gave him the energy of their astral selves, which, because I was already thinking about Dragon Ball, made me think Spirit Bomb.
Yeah.
And then the fucking Ryuhei punched his way through the torso of the enemy, which again is Dragon Ball. I don't think it was meant as a plagiarism ape, but I just couldn't help but think about it. Anyway, decent enough show overall. I enjoyed it fairly well. I was pretty hyped up for the final episode, so I'll give it that. Moving on to a show which still is ongoing, Dragon Quest: Adventure of Dai.
Oh, this has been a fun one. So, basically, this show has done a lot more to develop its cast and give them power ups. I think I talked about Pop's power up in the mid season check in, but the show has given a lot of character development to its villains, which I was not expecting when I started the series, but I am surprised and pleasantly so that it's actually done that.
That's good.
Yeah, most shonen series just seem to have one and done villains who don't reappear again or who are just there and don't change. Naruto. Bleach. But yeah, no. Dai has been a really fun ride. so far, and it looks like they're entering into some kind of climax. But I could be entirely wrong, and this could be going on for another 50 episodes. I don't know where they're at in the relative to the manga right now. This is supposed to be a complete adaptation, and I think the manga was like 30 volumes or something like
The
that. I
30,
don't
33,
remember.
37 are the numbers that are appearing in my head, having checked the wiki a week ago to help somebody out. Um,
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how long, but like this feels like it's at least two-thirds of the way into the story. And they just started a new started on with a new OP, so I imagine we're going to get at least one more full core of this, if not two.
yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a really good show.
I
I
mean,
don't know what else.
I am glad. I know I obviously dropped it first core, I think. Um, but I am glad that it has, if nothing else, it's gotten better as it's gone on.
Yeah,
I mean, if there had
gotten
been
some real
the
good shit.
if there had been the animation in the first core that had been in the last couple of cores, like maybe I would have stuck with it a little bit longer. I don't know. Because Jesus Christ, it's looked good sometimes.
Yeah, you've seen some of those animation cuts, huh?
Yeah. Toei keeps posting about them, so I kind of have to.
I mean, it's kind of hard to ignore them when they look that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Every now and then the animators just like to pop the hell off, and we get some good shit out of it. But I am happy with the show, and I'm probably just gonna watch it to the end. Honestly,
That's
I see no
fair.
reason not to.
Question: Are you at all interested in getting the manga?
Is it licensed yet?
Is it not licensed? I thought it was.
Let me check. I don't think they have it on the Shonen Jump app.
I mean, they definitely don't have it on the Shonen Jump app, but I could have sworn it's been licensed. Yeah, it's been published by Viz.
Huh. I'll have to look that up then.
37 volumes, by the way.
Fucking hell. Oh,
Um,
longer ones.
so, just to give you an idea, um, there was a previous anime adaptation of Dai, which ran for 46 episodes from October 1991 to September 1992. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, that 46 episodes covered the first 10 volumes of the manga.
Fuck. I think this has probably covered a bit more than that, but
Hmm.
I could be entirely wrong.
Well, the let's see, episode 44 of this first adaptation is titled "The Bond Between Parent and Child is a Sad Fate: The Fight Between Father and Child." Does that ring any bells in terms of
Oh yeah, that
stuff
was
that's happened?
yes. I believe that took place about a core or so ago, like a
Okay,
core ago.
so they
So
are,
this is a bit faster paced.
yeah, so they are, yeah, they're moving at a decent click. So I would probably say you're probably about halfway through.
Give or take, yeah, that sounds about right.
So
Yeah.
have fun with this for another year, I think. Because what episode are we up to now on Dragon Quest?
We're up at episode 51 is the most recent. Okay, so episode 31 was the same fight as mentioning from the old anime.
Okay,
So that was a good 20 episodes ago. So we're probably at about the halfway point, maybe the two-third point.
okay.
So yeah, we're in for another several months of this, which I am happy about. I'm enjoying this one.
So yeah, get used to having it on the podcast because it's not going away anytime soon.
Yep.
What is going away? Because I don't. Has this one gotten a second core or not? Duke of Death.
It got announced for a second season.
Okay, I thought I had. So I expect to see that at some point as well. Uh, but again, go on, dude. This is on you.
This one has improved substantially as it's gone on, I think. I feel like the early episodes were too focused on the dumb gags, and that this show
Mm.
has since added depth and nuance to the characters and added more interpersonal relationships across the cast,
Yeah.
which has helped a lot. Who'd have thought that making your cast more complex and deep makes for a better series?
Who would have guessed?
But yeah, like the big climax of this season is basically just the titular Duke standing up to his shitty mom.
Yeah, I did
Or
watch that scene a little bit to get the screenshot, and it seems like the kind of, serious thing that I wanted from Duke of Death in the first place.
maybe you just rewatched it and reevaluated it.
I'm not that desperate to find out what happens.
Or you could just read the manga if you're uncomfortable with the animation style.
Very possibly. Has the animation ever gotten as bad as that first episode?
I don't think so. I don't really pay attention to the animation in particular on this one. I pay more attention to the characters and story.
Yeah.
But this story has been pretty solid,
Mm-hmm.
honestly.
That's good.
And I imagine things will improve substantially. There's been some interesting reveals over the course of the season as to like the nature of the Duke's curse and the background of the series.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go too deep into that because of spoilers.
Well,
But
I'm
suffice to
I'm
say,
gonna I'm gonna potentially spoil something. Titular Duke is marrying Alice.
he wants to, yes. The basically he kind of has to break the curse first, though,
I mean, that's
and
fair. That's very
and
fair.
unfortunately, breaking the curse is a lot more difficult than initially believed to be. I won't elaborate further, but it will not be easy.
Mm. When is it ever?
Yes, never. It's never easy.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on to a show that both you and I are watching.
Fena, Pirate Princess.
Yo ho, pirates life for me.
You say that, but nothing's been very piratey about it.
Oh no, there has been plenty of piratey stuff up until the ship got exploded.
I mean, yeah, there was plenty of pirates right up until said pirates got fucking murdered, which is a
The
shame.
weird thing,
Which is a shame because they are far more interesting antagonists than creepy British naval guy.
yeah, and the British Navy, who are always going to be antagonists in pirate stories.
Yeah,
You, it's not your fault, Mill, but your country kind of is shit throughout history.
yeah, we are. Frankly, if frankly, if the show is set anywhere near Britain, Britain is the enemy.
Yep. But yeah,
Uh, unless it's
I
set
kind of hope at
actually,
least,
unless it's set actually in Britain, and then France is the enemy.
or on rare occasions, Spain.
Mm.
But yeah, I honestly kind of hope at least some of the pirate ladies survive because we don't see any dead bodies for the named characters. But at the same time, it was a pretty fucking huge explosion, so it'd be very
Yeah,
improbable to survive,
I don't
except for
know.
maybe that one girl in the crow's nest.
Yeah, I don't know how any of them would survive because it looked like most of them got engulfed by the explosion.
Yeah,
If they
yeah. The only
survived,
argument,
if they survived, they ain't looking pretty no more.
yeah, yeah. It's also been like a couple episodes since that happened, and we haven't seen hide nor hair of them, so odds are looking like they are dead, dead.
So, other issues with this, Fena
Is it
doesn't
that
have a
she
massive
caused
amount of
it?
agency.
Oh yeah. I
She's
wish Fena was more active as a character.
she's mainly just being handed from protector to protector. Um,
Not great.
yeah. What else? the whole witch thing is kind of bad. Um,
Oh yeah,
quite
no.
misogynistic,
Hey,
frankly.
hey, Shitan. Just because people follow a woman who's pretty doesn't mean she's bewitching them. Maybe she's just a person that they like to be around because she has an interesting a personality that they like.
A female anime protagonist with a personality? Shut your mouth.
I know, it's weird, but they exist.
And we've gotten
Believe it or
several
not,
of
they
them this
exist.
season, to be fair. That was
Yeah,
cruel of me to anime because we've gotten quite a few this season. Um, what
not
else?
just this season, this year actually.
Yeah. My other issue is that the pacing isn't great.
The pacing is really wonky. Yeah.
This feels like it should be too core.
Oh, absolutely.
It feels too rushed.
Hmm.
Um, like I'm not sure actually how satisfying this finale is going to be. Um,
Like unless they announce a second season or something.
which is possible. Who's production IG? They have to do Haikyuu season 5 at some point, but not sure what else they've got on the docket.
I mean, unless they do a follow up on their Star Wars Visions episode, I don't see much else that they might be doing. I don't know what else they have, what other projects they have
Um,
upcoming.
let's
Let me
see.
check.
They're apparently helping out on Attack on Titan, which
Yeah, but that's just assisting. They're not actually the main studio.
Uzumaki, and then second season of Ultraman at some point. Otherwise, yeah, they got nothing listed so far. So yeah, go for it. Do a second core of this. I'd be happy with it because it's an enjoyable show for sure.
It is. Yeah.
I like most of the main cast of characters. Um, like pretty much everyone who isn't Yukimaru and Shitan are pretty enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, I would give Yukimaru less shit than Shitan,
Oh no,
honestly.
absolutely. The thing with Yukimaru is he is so tied up with Fena.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything about his character is tied up with Fena at the moment.
Well, not necessarily. I do like the dynamic he has with Makaba and Shitan as
hmm.
like the three oldest members of the group who watched each other's backs.
I just like Makaba. He's such a just chill dude.
He's so reliable too.
Yeah. Like, in fact, wasn't he like the first one to set off after Fena?
No, it
Other
was the
uh,
twins.
was it the twins? Okay.
It was the twins. He caught the twins, and then Karen came up.
Okay, but he was the first one with a plan.
Yes, yes, he was.
Also, when they were doing that, when Shitan found them, I was just like, are they just gonna like say, well, there's more of us than there are of you, so if you could take the small boat and we'll take the sub, that would be really, really convenient. Or just knock him out, chuck him in the boat, and set him set him adrift. But no, they convinced him because they're cowards. Didn't want to punch him out, I guess. Uh, but yeah, like the twins are fun. Karen is fun. Like her fucking, her fucking vendetta against the pirate captain for breaking her nose.
That was great.
And am I still cute with the fucking nose brace? And everyone just going, yeah, definitely. Um, Also, the when the fucking pirates were following them through the tunnels, and they had that one pirate like try and hear the footsteps for where they were going, say, "Okay, it's this way." Okay, so we're going this other way. Just complete opposite of every single choice. It's just like they know her. They know exactly what she's about, and they are not going to follow her directions. So like there are definitely fun parts of it. It's just like yeah, it could be better is the thing. Like this could have been anime of the season contender if it had just been a little bit better. If it had been two
Yeah,
core and Shitan hadn't been a misogynist. who
Mm-hmm.
got talked down from his misogyny very easily as well, just by
Yeah.
Fena ranting. And I like that Fena, was able to do that.
To be fair, it seems like the shitty village head was the one who programmed that into him to begin with.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, fuck that village head, and fuck Shitan's brother,
Oh yeah, that guy's a piece of shit.
because clearly they are pretty shitty dudes. Also, as we said, fuck. I think his name is Abel. The
Abel.
Navy.
The creep.
I don't think he's even part of the Navy. Is the thing, because he's not in charge of the
No,
ship. He's just some army dude, I think.
he's like some nobleman or something.
Yeah. Who literally had pirates kidnap Fena because he's in love with her mum. And yes, it's as wrong as it sounds.
It's so fucking creepy.
I'm still also bemoaning the fact that I can't watch this dubbed.
Most unfortunate.
Fucking Casey Mongio is Cody, and he had a lot to say in one episode.
Hmm.
And I like Casey Mongio. In fact, I believe they are the main character in the new Shin Megami Tensei. Which is quite neat.
Dang.
Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say for Fena. This isn't finished. We have 4 more episodes to go.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it was at least 5 rather than 4. This could do with 13 episodes rather than 12.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope Fena gets to properly do something instead of being the damsel in distress.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Like, how it wouldn't have changed that much really if like Fena was already on her way to escaping when Yukimaru arrived at the naval ship and then got shot.
That would have been nicer.
Yeah.
Well, not for Yukimaru, but it would
I
have
mean
been nice for Fena.
Yukimaru's getting shot either way because Shitan may also be gay, frankly.
That would make a lot of sense.
He may be in love with Yukimaru because he has a lot to say about that.
Yeah, it would make things make so much sense if he was gay for Yukimaru.
He is throwing a lot of blame on Fena for Yukimaru getting hurt for a straight man.
Yes.
Uh,
No idea if they'll actually go along.
oh, they're not
path,
going
though.
for it. They're not fucking going for it. It is 100% Yukimaru Fena endgame.
Oh yeah, no, but that still doesn't change the possibility of Shitan being interested in Yukimaru. It just
Yeah,
means he'd be tragically unrequited.
yeah, but they're just not gonna do it.
Probably
Heteronormity
not.
is the villain of this season. You have to realize this by this point.
Oh, I fully realize this.
Uh,
For something that's a little less heteronormative, though, let's go on to girlfriend.
yeah, because last time we talked, the 2 girls were maybe being interested in each other.
I am 99.9% sure that Saki, the redhead in that image, is a closeted bisexual.
Cool.
Like the literal only thing that is plausible deniability for her being straight is the fact that she's in a relationship with Naoya.
Hmm.
She repeatedly makes comments that make it seem pretty obvious that she lusts after Nagisa. Like straight up, she repeatedly says she's so cute, and at one point says, "I kind of wish I had her as a girlfriend."
Fair enough.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure that Saki is at least bi. The only thing that keeps it from being canon is it not being stated in text.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this one has been my dumb fun trash of the season mostly. I have enjoyed the dumb shenaniganry, and also the fact that it actually does have some interesting things to say and some legitimately thought out plot points. Like the girl on the far right of the picture, Shino, who doesn't really come into prominence until the final stretch of the season.
Mm-hmm.
She actually brings up some good points as to what would make a polyamorous relationship difficult in
Yeah.
in our monogamy focused society, and like now you can't refute anything that she says, like at all, and admits that she has a point,
Fair enough.
which is interesting and not something I expected of the show. However, there is still the classic harem rom com shenaniganry to deal with all the goofiness that entails.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do like the fact that Nadia is at least at this point sticking to just his relationship with Saki and Nagisa,
Yeah.
and being like, look, I'm already committing to these two. I'm not going to take on another girlfriend, and I'm not going to just reject them to pick up a different girl. Which, hey, low bar, but still, like, there are plenty of worse anime protagonists. So many worse ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this one is some fun, and if you like harem rom-coms with a twist, this one's a good one to check out. There is a lot of limited animation, I will admit. Like, a lot of anime these past few seasons have had limited animation, probably because of COVID, just
Yeah.
fucking up production.
Mm.
So I don't really blame them, but it's still noticeable.
Yeah. Who is the
Yeah,
studio behind Girlfriend? Let's have a look. Tezuka Productions, which you'd expect to be better. Um,
they did
that,
quintuplets, I believe.
yes, they did the first season of Quintuplets.
Mm-hmm.
They also did Adachi and
Also did
Shimamura.
Adachi and Dororo.
Well, they helped on Dororo with Mappa.
Was the head studio on that one, right?
I think they
Yeah,
were. So it was joint production.
yeah. It
And
seems like Tezuka Productions.
Dororo had a couple of bad episodes as well, if you remember.
Oh, I remember. God, I wish I didn't, but I do.
Mm.
But yeah,
Oh, they're also doing
moving.
Moot King in the coming season.
Oh boy, is that one on my list?
No,
It is not.
it is on Numbers list, I believe.
Yeah, good luck to that on that number.
Hmm. I mean,
But yeah,
thank you
moving.
for taking that bullet for us, as well as the several other bullets you're taking for us.
I mean, everyone's taking at least one bullet in this.
Yeah, but some of the bullets we enjoy.
I'm kind of ashamed to admit the bullet I'm going to possibly enjoy.
World's End Harem.
Yes.
Thought so.
Look, I enjoy some trash. Everyone has trash they enjoy.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
But moving on to something that's less trashy,
How a realist
Realist Hero.
how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom.
This has honestly turned out to be probably the best of the isekai this season, which I know is not a high bar, but still.
Now, without revealing your awards picks, I do find that interesting.
Yeah, the thing is, like, part of what puts this above the other ones is the fact that it has some really good world building in it. And you know how I love me some good world building.
Fair enough.
It also has a pretty large cast of characters who interact with each other pretty well,
Yeah.
whereas a lot of other the others only really have like uh the number of good characters you could really count on one hand. The Are at least memorable characters,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one stands out compared to the rest of them just by virtue of having a good world
Hmm.
and an interesting plot and fairly good characters. I also especially do like that Soma is not portrayed as a perfect person. Like, he makes mistakes and he has things that are outside his control.
Yeah.
So he is not like the overpowered, super perfect, always right uh, MC you see in a lot of other isekai, which
Hmm.
is a breath of fucking fresh air,
Mm.
honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, having him be an interesting flawed character with a fairly unique power too, that isn't like an overpowered ability, but is useful.
Yeah.
Very nice. But yeah, I am glad this also got renewed for a second season because like this only adapted 2 volumes of the light novel, which is kind of insane.
Yeah,
Because you
that's pretty slow.
yeah. Well, 86 is the only one that I think is adapted less, and that the first core of that adapted only 1 volume. But the norm is like 2 to 4.
86 is a different sort of beast, considering it was that first volume was supposed to be standalone, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, and it's also extremely dense.
Yes,
So
incredibly dense. It had a lot to do in that first core, and it managed to do it very well.
yes. But yeah, this one is fairly slow in terms of light novel adaptations, but I think that's to its benefit.
Yeah.
If they had tried to rush 3 or 4 volumes worth of content out, it would not have come out nearly as well.
Mm.
There is a lot of exposition and world building and plot development in this
Yeah.
that would not work at a faster clip. But I very much enjoyed it, and even if it isn't perfect or anywhere close to that, it's still easily the strongest of the isekai this season in terms of just overall values.
Moving
Uh,
on to
um,
something that is not as good. Nowhere near
oh,
as good. Idaten Deities, Know Only Peace. So I promised you, Jack, that I had the perfect line for Idaten Deities. Which, if I just give me a second to do that. So my line is, and thank you Instagram and Tumblr for showing this to me. Um, the bar was so low it was practically a tripping hazard in hell. Yet here you are, limbo dancing with the devil.
that is a great line.
It's a fantastic line and one I will use liberally for other shows, but it does fit for Idaten Deities. Because, hey, you know what's worse than the rape of a nun?
Kitty diddling?
Yeah, the grooming and fucking of minors.
Yeah, which 2 of the female antagonists decide to do. And it's not really played for any sort of horror. It's just like
It's played for
there, or even
laughs,
played for laughs,
frankly.
which is horrifying.
Yeah. I mean, beyond the skeeviness of the show, I just don't think it's very good overall. Um,
The only things it had going for it were its fantastic OP and its animation.
apparently the fucking animators hated working on this.
I don't blame them.
Apparently they were really creeped out by it. And yeah, no, don't blame them. Don't blame them at all. I
That
was
is not a
uncomfortable
shocking
watching
rebel.
it. This is the
Yeah,
worst show that I've finished this season, and I wish I hadn't finished it.
yeah. The problem is that finishing it means the story is ends on a fucking cliffhanger.
Which apparently so does the source material.
So
It ends on the
it
exact
was
same
made.
cliffhanger.
The web manga does, yeah. Apparently the manga adaptation of it is still ongoing, but it hasn't caught up to that yet. Which why did they adapt it at this point rather than when it had more material to work with?
uh.
Seriously, what the fuck?
Mappa gets bored if they're not working on 4 shows at the same time.
Oh no, I remember. I think they needed money to fund Chainsaw Man, so they took lesser projects.
Yeah, that makes sense, unfortunately.
I mean, Chainsaw Man
Unfortunately.
is probably going to be really good, so
Yeah,
I'm just really sad that they have to make shit like this to get that funded.
yeah. So if I recall correctly, it's made by the same author as Dragon Maid
Interspecies
and
reviewers.
Interspecies.
Interspecies reviewers guy is the guy who wrote the original web manga and storyboarded the manga adaptation.
Hmm.
Uh, the Dragon Maid person is the one who illustrated the manga.
Okay. Um, either way, Convergence of two very different shows, and unfortunately, it was closer to Interspecies than it was Kobayashi.
Yes.
Because this was just skeevy. But as I said, it's just there's no real development for the characters.
Yeah, the only character who gets any real developments are the characters who get brainwashed.
And then it gets undone. Like, Cody is the only one who's showing real development by the looks of things, and it got cut off by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Everyone else just barely changes. The plot just gets so muddled in the end.
Also, I feel like the Demons win at the end of the series is kind of an asshole.
It really is. Like, that's the other thing. Like, as we will discuss when we talk about Best Antagonist during the awards, this season was light on antagonists. Idaten was a show with plenty of antagonists, but none of them actually felt threatening.
Yeah, and none of them were really well developed or
not
good
at
characters.
all. Not at all.
Yeah,
they just weren't developed. It's a very substance heavy show.
Mm-hmm.
It's carried
style heavy show.
Style heavy, sorry, style heavy, and it is carried so hard by that style, so very hard by that style. Yeah, I wish this was better. I wish it was, because it had a genuinely interesting concept, and it just isn't well written enough to actually do it justice. I mean, for fuck's sake, the whole thing about there being a fuck ton of Idaten under that seal just got forgotten.
Not to mention the fact that there was the birth of a new Idaten, and she did basically nothing.
Yeah. So, and that was the end result of the nun raping. Yeah, that was necessary.
That was so necessary. Amounted to, hey, I get to be the template for this new god, and I interacted with her once in a scene where we don't actually exchange words at the very end of the season.
Yeah.
It just feels like so much of a waste.
It really
overall.
is. It
like
really
this whole
is.
series. The only thing I'm really going to defend about the series is the OP being absolutely awesome.
The OP is good.
Yeah. The series is just...
It's disappointing.
Disappointing.
It's disappointing. There's no other word for it, honestly.
I do feel tempted to quote that one line from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, though. So you're not mad, but you're disappointed? No, I am both mad and disappointed.
Oh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I do love it. Moving on to the great Jahy-sama will not be defeated.
Look at her. Look at her in that amazing
I do
suit.
like that screenshot. That screenshot did make me smile, because it does look fun.
It's just perfect, honestly. Like, Jahy overall has just been such a fun character. Especially seeing her bounce off the rest of the supporting cast. I really love her her interactions, especially she's met the magical girl in the real world at this point.
Yeah.
And who is just comically unlucky. Like at one point when she encounters Jahy, just a whole bunch of shit falls on top of her from the apartments in the building next door. So starting with a potted plant, a microwave, and then a whole fucking apartment's worth of furniture. And then when she gets out from under there, she falls down a fucking manhole. And she's still fine afterwards. Oh. The show has just gotten so good with its comedy. There's also a bit where Jahy gets absolutely fucking hammered with her landlord, and her boss just watches and takes pictures because it's funny. And we get a whole bunch of funny screenshots of them just goofing around while drunk. And it is great. I just really like this show, honestly. It's a really fun show.
Yeah.
Like, if you can get past the first episode, which is absolutely the weakest of the show, by the way,
Mm.
then like you're in for a good time.
Just made me
Just a really,
actually, sad that I didn't end up watching it then.
I mean, it's
Just,
only 8 episodes in, so you could try it.
I could. I am very busy though, unfortunately.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, it's well worth getting into, I think.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, just put it on your backlog.
Uh, Not that I've made much progress on that front either, but yeah, I will. I will certainly consider doing it. Um, is there anything in the way of overarching plot or plot
Well,
development?
Jahy did get a big magic crystal a few episodes ago, and then she promptly got stolen 2 episodes later by the magical girl. So that worked out nicely for her.
Those
But
darn
overall,
magical girls.
overall the main plot has just been Jahy trying to find more magic stones and being thwarted by a combination of bad luck and her ineptitude
Yeah.
and arrogance. Yeah, I feel like the plot is really secondary to just the character interactions and the comedy,
Yeah.
which is kind of par for the course for this kind of show.
Hmm.
But I am loving the comedy and I'm loving the characters, so I'm not complaining.
I mean, yeah, if it can get away with that, then yeah, it doesn't need much of a plot.
Yeah, exactly. No plot, no problem. This
Hmm.
is just fun stuff. And you get great visual gags like Jockey standing it on the stage in a nifty little suit while in her child form, giving a speech to a bunch of business people, only to be repeatedly cut off by their boss because the boss is like, "Hey, oh, so that's what you're saying? I'm going to elaborate on your points, on your minuscule points, to suit my own purposes."
I mean, all I can think saying that is, "Hi, I'm Jahy, and welcome to my TED Talk."
Yeah, no, this show is fun.
Hmm.
As soon as I saw this, I knew I had to grab this scene for the screenshot.
Yeah, no, it looks great. It looks great.
Yeah, you want to move on?
We can, in fact, move on to Kageki Shoujo, which I have collected so many screenshots for, I have made it into a slideshow.
Oh wow.
And I do not apologize one fucking bit, because they are all fantastic. And they all deserve love.
So Sarasa is just such a fun character.
Sarasa
Whenever
is
her,
so fantastic. Oh, yeah. Poor Aya.
yeah,
Hey, it's the new surprise Pikachu.
I love that scene so much.
I love all the scenes. This is such a fun show. My one
Yeah,
gripe, my one gripe with this show is that the ending was not really an ending.
yeah, it felt
It
like
didn't feel
just like
conclusive.
yeah, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, like I kind of get it.
Yeah. And frankly, I don't care that much because I'm getting the manga. Uh,
Oh, same. The manga looks really nice. I've
yeah.
seen a few panels here and there, and they look really beautiful at times.
Yeah. So, where did we leave off with Kageki Shoujo last time out? Let me
It's
see.
like episode 8 or 9.
Let me see what the screenshot was. Oh, that's not helpful. That's not helpful at all. It's literally just Sarasa and the Coca Spirit. That doesn't help. Uh, Fuck it. We'll just talk about it as a whole. So, I think we were
Oh, we
talking
didn't.
about the twins episode last time out.
Yeah, the twins episode was the last episode. I think that was episode 9.
Episode 9, yeah. So we had yes, because we had the Sarasa taking part in the sports festival, which was fantastic.
That was great.
And her getting fucking I don't know what the fucking term is for it, but the pinned up against the wall and the slam.
Kabedon.
The Kabedon by oh, who was it? Say Satami, I think was the one.
Satami. Yes.
Satami, yeah. Who I believe is the Winter Troop head top staru.
Yes. Yes. I remember correctly.
Yes, Winter Group. Yes. Um, and then and yeah, just the yes. You've got to learn how to act. You've got to learn to act yourself and act like yourself. And like Sarasa goes, I want E-cup boobs. Oh god.
In a lesser series, that scene would not have worked, but somehow it worked.
Well, because it was the one bit of potential fan service we got in the entire show, which was just focusing on Saras's chest as she just fucking juts her chest out as if she has E-cup boobs. I'm okay with that kind of thing, frankly.
Yeah, because it's entirely played for laughs, and it's Sarasa ball.
Then there was the fact that she and was it also Satami tripped? I think it was in the relay race. She and one of the top stars tripped, and Sarasa. Yeah, and Sarasa had to very quickly decide what would be the best way to not put the focus on herself and put the focus on Satami, and she did a pretty fucking good job.
Yeah.
As much as fucking Hijiri can bitch about it, Sarasa did as good a job as she could have done in that situation. And then we get the final arc, which was second years are graduating soon, so and the first years are getting to do the Romeo and Juliet scene at the graduation. And Sarasa first has to decide whether she's going to play Romeo or Tybalt. She decides to play Tybalt. I don't know if it's pronounced Tybalt. I'm pronouncing it as Tybalt.
I think it's Tybalt or Tybalt. I don't remember.
Fuck Shakespeare. I don't care. Shakespeare fucking tortured me in high school English, so I'm going to fucking butcher his names. It's my right as an Englishman. She chooses to be Tybalt, and then she has to, figure out how to put her own spin on the character. Considering first time around she was told, yeah, that's somebody else's performance, you can't do that. And then we get, the fucking rehearsals, which were great, and the results of the rehearsals, which were also great. And the final...
I love how they draw out the reveal of the results, too.
Yeah, no, because I genuinely thought Sarasa hadn't done it. I genuinely thought she had...
I thought that Sawa got it.
Yeah. I genuinely thought Sawa got it. I also thought it was a really nice touch that Kaoru didn't get Romeo.
Yep.
Because it shows that the class is not just the main cast.
Yeah. Like, the only part that none of the main cast members tried out for was Juliet's nurse, which is a bit character.
Yeah. And upon hearing the explanation about it, it was actually... Well, it was really cool to hear the explanation of why Aya got the role of Juliet over Ai.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Because it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense.
And the girl deserved it.
Yeah.
The girl deserved it.
Fucking Aya's episode in... Well, another one of Aya's episodes. Aya has been consistently great. And, we get a character, again, who isn't, played for laughs, treated seriously, and allows Aya to actually insert herself into the role. Unfortunately, it's at the realization that she missed out on a potential girlfriend, but... Poor girl.
Does that mean Aya goes by?
I feel like you could read it like that.
That would not surprise me.
I feel
It
like
would make a lot of
yeah.
sense.
I feel like that could be the reading. Even without Ayako, that's the third gay character we apparently have, because obviously the girl in Aya's backstory was at the very least bisexual, if not pansexual, and apparently two of the teachers are gay. One of them, I believe, has been confirmed to be Ai's uncle, which makes a lot of sense, because it would explain why I feel so safe around him. The other one I don't think has been confirmed. The only one who has been ruled out is Ando Sensei, I believe.
I mean, if it's another one of the male teachers, then I feel safe saying it's Onodera, but
Yeah,
I could be.
it would make sense being Onodera, and I love Onodera. He's great.
He's a great character.
He's so fantastic.
I love how supportive he is of Ayako, especially.
No,
That's such a great relationship.
It's superb. It's superb, and I love it. I love this entire show. I also love the fucking reactions to Ando inserting himself as the Romeo into Saras's groups, and just everyone just being, "Oh no!" Wait, it could be fine. How's
screwed?
It could be fine. How's Sarasa taking it? Ah, oh no! But again, Sarasa fucking nails it. And I do like, because before the final episode, my main complaint was that Sawa hadn't had a focus episode, but they covered that in the final one.
Yeah.
We didn't get backstory the way we did for Kaoru or Aya or the twins, but it was an episode, and it was a good one at that. It really went into her mindset.
Yeah.
And I loved that she was just completely, taken aback with, and agreed with the reasoning for why that one teacher voted for Sarasa. The fact that she had more fangirl potential.
That was
Oh, God. This show is so great. Oh,
I love this show. So good. But we've gushed about this show enough, and we do need to move on.
We do need to move on. Rest assured we're gushing about it later anyway.
Yeah.
So moving on.
We got 4 sequels in a row now, so let's maybe do a little bit of lightning round here.
Magia Record Season 2. I'm assuming it still looks as good as it has been for the rest of the season.
There were a couple of rough spots, I think, in episodes 6 and 7, but the final episode was pretty good looking, even if they did take a couple mild animation shortcuts here and there. There was still a fantastic sequence in like a theater of the mind type setting, though. And there was also a couple of really good Sakuga sequences.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this show has overall been really consistently good outside of the dip in quality in episode 6.
Yeah.
And we are getting a 3rd season, I think, in December, so I am looking forward to that.
Jesus Christ. Final season, isn't it?
I believe so, but I am not 100% certain. It is at least going to wrap up this story arc.
I'm just checking Mal, and indeed it is final season.
Good. Okay, good. But yeah, good show, good follow-up. Definitely an improvement on the first season of Magia Record, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next season.
How much, just a question, how much is it focusing on the characters that have appeared solely in Magia Record, and how much is it focusing on the Madoka characters?
For the most part, the Madoka characters have mostly just been cameos, except for like a few bits here and there. Like, they've been prominent supporting characters, but they haven't taken over the show at all.
Okay.
I would still recommend watching Madoka, OG Madoka first, though.
Time.
Well, OG Madoka is also just the stronger show, and it's a lot shorter. It's only 1 season, so.
Moving on to a show that is in no way short. My Villain Academia Season 5.
But Mel, I thought this was My Hero Academia.
Nope, the latter half of season 5 has focused on the villains, and for all that people were fucking bitching about how, oh, they're not going to have enough time to do My Villain Academia justice, they did it fine.
I think they did it pretty well,
Because
especially episodes 23 and 24, which were phenomenally fucked up, as I was hoping.
I may have skipped past most of Shigarashi's flashback because, oh boy, I only need to see that once.
Yeah, no, that was fucked up.
I don't need to see that again. The fact that
Yeah,
Horikoshi got that published in a weekly Shonen Jump is a fucking miracle astounding. Oh my god.
yeah, no, and also people were not overhyping when they said it would fuck up only viewers because I saw some comments that were
Yeah,
people were
I'm not
freaking the fuck out.
surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
I mean, it's kind of hard to not freak out when you see a poor dog get splattered into a pile of gore by a boy waking superpowers.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, in the anime, it didn't become gore until it hit the floor, but,
Hey, that rhymed.
hmm,
But yeah, no, the anime toned it down substantially, and it was still horrifying.
yeah. Um,
The manga was considerably more graphic.
oh, yeah. In terms of the dub, Redestro, I believe, is Sunny Straight, which is a fun casting.
Krillin,
Yeah. And Koro Sensei, which was a fun casting. Yeah, My Villain Academia is good. It's not my favorite part because, like, I kind of don't want to relate or feel like compassion towards these villains.
I
Because,
mean, you
like,
kind of you don't necessarily have to relate to them, but you do like some of them deserve at least pity.
I do pity twice. I do pity
Twice it
twice.
Twice has it rough.
Twice is a poor bastard. Like, oh,
Yeah. I
like
do like that this delved into the backstories of most of the league, especially twice Toga and Shigaraki got the most.
Toga is the one where I go, no, that doesn't make her better. She's still killing people. Just because she
Yeah, but
thinks she's doing it out of love does not make that better.
I mean it's partially her parents' fault for denying what her abilities were and what they were doing to
Yeah,
her psychology and not getting her therapy.
yeah.
So
Again,
yeah, it's not entirely her
it's
fault.
it's an explanation. It is not a whatchamacallit, just justification.
Yeah.
Is that the word I'm looking for? I think so.
Well, I would say explanation, not excuse. Probably works
Excuse.
better.
That's the word I'm looking for. I'm sorry. I'm working on little sleep.
You need sleep, man. You need sleep.
I got up early to do the prep.
Okay, sleep well tonight, then, dude.
Um,
But anyways, I do
season
feel
6 is
like,
going to be fucking incredible.
oh yeah,
Nobody is ready for season 6. Not even manga readers are ready for season 6.
oh, season 6 is going to be a big one.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say on it because I don't want to spoil people who are anime only.
No. Because nobody should do that. Nobody should treat anime onlys like scum, like some people on Twitter do.
Twitter is a cesspit. You should know this by now,
I
man.
know. That one annoyed me. That one really, really annoyed me. Um,
Anyways,
so
moving on to the next series, Mai in the title.
well, no, because we're now talking about because I apparently got the order mixed up. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid season 2.
Ah,
I fucked up
yes.
the order a little bit by
Dang it,
accident.
Mel.
I'm sorry. I had a lot to deal with.
It was a good transition, darn it.
I know, but I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Dragon Maid is a very good series. Like, honestly, this series has been the consistently best animated series of the season. No cap. No cap. Like, easily, consistently the best looking series of the season. And honestly, one of the best series of the year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like there are some bits here and there that I don't really like, and I find a bit distasteful, but it is overall a really good show with really good characters,
Yeah.
except for a couple. It's just a really good show, and the central focus of it has just been consistently very strong. Like the two title characters have such a great relationship with one another, and
Uh,
it looks more and more romantic as the series goes on.
that was what I was about to ask. How romantic is that relationship? Because I know there
Toru
was a lot
is,
of controversy, to say the least, in
I mean,
season one.
Toru has been canonically in love with Kobayashi since basically the beginning.
Mm,
It's just like it's looking more and more likely to be get reciprocated as the series goes on.
yeah,
Also, like there's been a lot of good development for the supporting cast as well that I've really liked, especially the stuff with Kana and Elma has
yeah,
been really good. But yeah, no, this is just a really good show, and if you like the first season, you'll like this one a lot too.
that's good. And as we've said in the last three streams on summer, it's just nice to see Kyoani like getting
It's
something
really
out.
nice to see them back again.
Yeah,
Really nice.
hopefully long may it continue. Um, Now moving on to my next life as the Villainess, aka Bakarina, season 2. I have some hot takes.
Oh boy.
I was not a fan of this season.
Yeah, I figured as much.
This was probably a worse season than season 1 overall. Mostly because it sort of lost that overarching plot line of avoiding the Doom flags. But
I
also
feel like
because after 2 seasons, it's stopped being amusing to see Katarina being a fucking idiot.
I wouldn't take that as a criticism necessarily, but I do agree with the overarching plot thing. And also, I do think that the biggest issue with this one that wasn't really present in the first season, at least as much, was the increase in the possessive boyfriend trope stuff.
Oh, that was very prevalent. I
Yeah,
mean,
it wasn't like there that much in the first season, but it really ramped up this time,
I mean,
especially with
uh,
regard to Keith and Giordo.
oh Keith. Oh, I fucking hate Keith now. Um,
I
because
mean, Keith has not been good this season.
well, put it this way: this is the only reason I needed to hate him, beyond other stuff that he did in the final episode. He implies that Jordo is a rapist, but also comes out with a rapist line.
Oh yeah, that bit.
Because he outright says when Katarina comes in to show Keith her new pajamas, if you come into a man's bedroom in your night clothes, you can't complain no matter what he does to you. Yes, you can. You
Yeah,
can
that's
very
fine.
much complain.
Yeah.
And then it said he
Like,
implies that Jordo is the rapist in this situation.
to be fair, Giordo has kissed Katarina against her consent 3 times this season.
Keith's kissed her without her consent. So was Sora.
Yeah, like I said, I am not a fan of that trope. I don't like it at all. For the reason that I cannot enjoy most shoujo manga.
Not to
Because it
mention,
is so consistent in those
yeah.
kinds of series.
Not to mention, like, I feel like the longer the show goes on, the less likely it is we are going to get a Yuri ending.
Mm,
The only one that I would say remotely has a chance is Maria.
Maria. Hmm.
And even then, it feels unlikely.
I mean, I've heard varying things from people who have read the novels. Like I've heard Maria more focus and that there's potential for her to actually win, but at the same time, there's also like the prominence of other male characters who
I mean,
are
yeah, I mean that's the thing. Two new male characters will be introduced in the next
installments.
in the next installment, which is a movie, which is the only reason I might watch this. I'm still probably going to have to do it in chunks. And they're both male.
Yeah.
Um,
Though I have heard that Katarina does pick up other female love interests as well.
Again, that's the other thing. Like, it feels like Katarina has
An ever-expanding harem. Yes.
very few friends and a fucking shit ton of people who just want to be with her romantically.
I think the only one who is friends with her that doesn't want to get with Katarina is that girl who wants to get with the other girl who's in love with her.
Yeah. And to an extent, fucking, what's her face?
Mia?
Who?
Or, no, her maid, Anne, right?
There is undertones with Arn, unfortunately. No,
I don't really see it that way, but
I was more going for Jeffrey and Ian and their brides.
right.
I mean,
Jeffrey is way too obsessed with his brothers to be remotely interested in Katarina.
frankly, Jeffrey is so interested in his brothers. I'm amazed he has a bride.
I would not be surprised in the slightest to view as asexual.
It certainly explains why I believe her real name is Susanna is allowed to, or is free to lead a double life as the head of the magic department or whatever the fuck it's called. Because he will not realize that she has left the room.
It would not surprise me if she wasn't interested in him romantically or sexually either. Like there is zero romantic tree there.
Yeah. And
so they do get along pretty well, at least.
They do definitely get along. And here's the other thing, like the relationship between Alan and Katarina. I feel like that would be so much better suited as a friendship than a romantic relationship.
Is, like, the only male suitors Katarina has as of this moment that we know well that would have a healthy romantic relationship with her are Alan and Nicole.
Yeah.
The other three are all some degree of toxic.
Are we including Raphael in this?
Oh no, Raphael would actually make a good
Raphael,
boyfriend.
I think, would be decent. I think Raphael would be decent.
That's still only half, though.
That is still only half.
And the ones who are the toxic ones are the more prominent ones, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is a damn shame.
Also, they've just fucking dropped the whole what's her face? Where is he? Where is she? Sophia being the reincarnation of her previous life's best friend? Or did I imagine that?
No, I'm pretty sure that's either stated or implied.
And it's just not been a thing.
Yeah, Sophia in general has been really out of focus this season.
Like, disappointingly not a thing is the thing. Like, I feel like that would be interesting.
I wish they'd explored that more, but as I said, Sophia has not been really focused on this season.
I mean, yeah, as I told you this, I struggled to watch that last episode.
That is understandable and fair.
Just really struggled to watch it. And that was before I got to Keith being a rapist.
Mm. Yeah, honestly, as much as I enjoy this show, it has a lot of problematic elements that understandably would turn me from it.
Yeah.
Like, it is also something of a pioneer in this isekai subgenre, which I feel is leads to it being a potential precursor to something better.
Yeah, I mean it's just it falls into the trap hole of not just harem series in general, but shows with big casts in that it can't do all of its cast members or all of its harem members justice.
Nah, it can't. It's got to pick ones to focus on.
And it's picking the worst ones.
Exactly.
Anyway, moving
There
on.
is one bright spot to the final couple episodes.
Oh, go on.
Katarina has a new dog.
Katarina has a very adorable shadow dog, yes.
Yes. Now we can move on.
Now we can move on to the other CG show this season, Nighthead 2041.
All you, dude.
Yeah, I did enjoy this. Honestly, its plot sort of fell apart a little bit. No, not even a little bit, quite a bit. Towards the middle and the end. I'm still not 100% sure what exactly happened. My belief is that give me a second because I have to check the names. The Kirihara brothers were prophesized to apparently take. So there are two worlds. In 2023, 2021, 2023, something like that, the world sort of split apart. One world where psychics were openly accepted, and one that wasn't. Apparently, the Kirihara brothers' role was to find the people in the non-psychic world who would be good in the psychic world and, get them over. Because apparently the non-psychic world was going to be destroyed, but that was also only going to happen because of the fact that the Kirihara brothers are actually also the Kuroki brothers, because at some point, potentially when they were kidnapped, the Kirihara brothers split their souls, which ended up being the Kuroki brothers. And because they were basically two versions of the same people, that created a paradox which was going to destroy the world. Are you with me so far?
No, but I'll pretend to be.
Cool. Meanwhile, you've got the fucking... There's also some time shit going on as well, because at the end of the show... Because one of the big conflicts between the two brothers is that the Kuroki brothers had a vision of the Kirihara brothers killing the Kuroki brothers' parents, but them looking the exact same, and this is like 15 years ago. Well, more than 15. Yeah, no, 15 years ago, I think. And that being a whole thing. I mean, it gets to the end of the show, and it turns out the Kuroki brothers' parents weren't killed, but adult Naoto and Naoya Kirihara saved them somehow. I'm still not sure what happened there.
It says a lot that you're the one who watched the show, and you're far more lost than I am.
Yeah. And eventually...
And again, I'm only half paying attention because I have no idea what the show is about at this point.
And eventually, like, the Kirihara brothers decided that they were going to basically... Now that they and the Kurokis had come to sort of an agreement, which they had, the Kirihara brothers were going to move onto the psychic world to remove the paradox, and the Kuroki brothers were going to have to be the ones who sort of changed the non-psychic world into one of accepting psychics so they could move on to the psychic world. I'm not exactly sure how the moving on works. The Kirihara brothers seem to think that they would be dying, I thought they just went in their present forms, but I think it's more of a reincarnation thing now.
So the show is very confusing overall.
I said for D-side that they were a bit too ambitious in their world building. For this, I would say they were incredibly too ambitious.
Oh boy, that's always a fun recipe.
It's not a bad show. It's still an interesting show. Um, the characters aren't amazing because obviously they've had to focus so much on world building and plot to make sure everything makes the vaguest amount of sense. What I will say is, very good looking show. Very good looking. Very much enjoyed the animation for a CG show. Studio Shirogumi, good on you. Very well done. And I'm not just saying that because I'm coming off Exam. And so my standards are lower. This was genuinely good by normal animation standards. But moving on to something that wasn't good by normal standards, Peach Boy Riverside.
Why the fuck did they shuffle the episode?
Okay, so just let me do the Nightbot, and then I will go through which episode was which. Let's see, I believe I still have Peach Boy Riverside open. I do. So as we've said before, this is the order in which we got it. So episode 1 was actually episode 2. Episode 2 was actually episode 3. Episode 3 was actually episode 9. Episode 4 was actually episode 1. Episode 5 was episode 7. Episode 6, episode 8. Episode 7, episode 4. Episode 8, episode 10. Episode 9, episode 12. Episode 10, episode 11. That just makes no sense. Episode 11, episode 5. Episode 12, episode 6. Just check the Peach Boy Riverside wiki. It's a fucking mess. And I don't know why they did it.
I don't know why either. It makes no sense.
No, it really doesn't.
Goddamn sense. They literally could have just put it in chronological order and it would have worked just fine.
So what actually happened? What actually happens in real episode 12?
The real episode 12 is almost entirely flashback.
Okay, what happens in real episode 11?
It basically functions as like a big climax with a bunch of fights going on and hints at the future of the series. So go read the manga, you plebeians, type thing.
I mean, it feels like you would be better off reading the manga.
Yeah, you probably would. I feel like I wasted some of my time with this, especially with the way it was aired out of order.
What was the animation like?
What animation?
There
was some animation, but like so many still frames and panning shots.
Oh.
Like, this show is not good.
Oh.
It had some good bits here and there, but it was just, on the whole, a really weak show. I also tried to do a fantasy racism thing, and it didn't really do it all that well.
Would it be worth watching it in the proper order?
I mean, if you're gonna watch it in the proper order.
I mean, that was a given. But is it even worth watching, even in the proper order?
I mean, if nothing else, it's good to watch when you're drunk and need something to entertain yourself.
Doesn't help me. I'm teetotal.
Yeah, no, like just put it on hold if you want to watch it at some point in the future, because like I guarantee you there are better things on your backlog.
Oh, almost certainly. Almost certainly. Do you want to move on, or do you have anything else to fling at Peach Boy? Any more invectives?
I will say, though it's not worth watching the show for just one character, Frau is easily the best part of it.
I mean, I got that from the 3-4 episodes that I watched.
Yeah, that's part of the show. Not necessarily worth watching the entire show for, but she's still great.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then. Moving on to my sports show of the season, Remake.
Oh boy.
I got invested. I wasn't sure how I would feel about the show overall. considering the bullshit they pulled. I can't. Let me just check. I need to check what was the last thing I talked about. No, I didn't talk about this on stream. Okay. I do believe I told you this, but I don't think I told it on stream, which is that Minato gets his memory back. Unfortunately, as it turns out, before his memory loss, he was a dick. Quite a big dick. Not to mention, he also loses all of the memories he had from the accident to regaining his memories. Which means it's just old Minato who's a dick. Thankfully, he does rather what's the word? Warm up to our motley band of idiots, which is good. I did actually quite like that. Honestly, it was well done. My issue is, why do the amnesia subplot in the first place? Like, you can still have the accident happen. Like, that makes sense. Like, you have the accident happen, it means he can't go to Shogakukan? Go to the school of choice, and so he has to go to Yamanami, and there he works through being a dick. That feels better than what they did. Either way, I enjoyed the show. As I said, I was incredibly invested in this final episode. Like, even knowing that there was no chance they were going to win, because they're a team of ragtag idiots versus probably the best school in Japan. It's not going to go well, but I was invested. And frankly, I almost certainly disturbed the other people, like people in the flats near me, by my cheering at the fact that the one goal they scored against the perennial champions was scored by my baby Ushi, which was glorious. Ushi being the soft-spoken calligraphist, who pretty much had not done anything in terms of the matches. They also had the first match against their neighbouring school, who are just as bad as they are, if not worse, in terms of water polo, which was hilarious. Especially considering that their incredibly dumb strategy was to stick every single one of their outfield players on Minato.
I don't understand water polo strategy all that much, but...
Well, put it this way. It would be like putting your entire defensive line on one running back.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Yes, it was a terrible idea. The worst part is it took Yamanami a fucking half of water polo to figure it out. They were locked in a stalemate for a half because they kept chucking the ball to Minato. When really, they should have just been taking shots themselves. But hey, they figured it out in the end. The poor bastards at, I think, Rikagaku or something like that, lost twice. So they are still not won. I feel a little bad for them, but not that bad. And hey, we got some, Minato got to, be friends with his old middle school friends again. Jahy-sama made up with his dad, which was nice. Amihama got a nice pep talk from his brother. And Minato ended up not being a dick, which is, so nice. I was so worried. Especially that they would just have him win via his strategy, because the strategy at his middle school was basically give the ball to the ace and let him score. And Minato tried employing that strategy at Yamanami, and it didn't work, because Minato still wasn't as good as he was before. And he did, eventually realize that, teamwork is what is good for that team. Yes, basing your team around an ace can work for other teams, but not this one. And he ended up, as I said, working with the rest of his teammates, which was so nice. Everyone got something to do in the final run up to scoring that point, and it was just so nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed this in the end. I really did. It's a nice show.
Does it have a good conclusive ending, or is it open ended, or is
Um,
it?
well, it's an original. I would say it was relatively conclusive. I'm happy with where it ended. Obviously, they could go on to do the next year or two of the team. Pretty
Mhm.
easily if they wanted to do a season 2. They probably won't. Um,
I mean, the problem is Marvel has this anime has the problem of competing with free in terms of water-based sports boys.
I mean, this anime has the problem that it's competing for Mappa's attention with other series.
Oh shit! Right. Mappa has just so many fucking projects on their plate. They need to slow down.
They really do need to slow down. But as I said, they're apparently not happy if they don't have more than 4, or they don't have at least 4 shows on the go. Um,
Jesus.
but yeah,
They at
no,
least have sub studios like Phones does.
I don't know. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. I don't know enough about the way Mappa is run. Certainly, the news coming out of Mappa is not good. But
Yeah.
anyway, moving on to Remake Our Lives.
God, this show is just
Remake Our Life.
remake our lives.
I never get it right.
Remake our lives.
I need to correct that then and there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that show's good. Show's really good.
go for it.
Just there's a lot to talk about, like the creative field and just burnout and overwork and just all the kind of stuff you want to see in an anime about working in the creative industry. Well, not all the stuff. It does. It's not going to be able to address everything because it's just one show with one central character. But
Hmm.
I feel like Kyoya is a really good central character
Yeah.
because of his growth arc and just how much he learns and changes across the series. And I also really like that. Like there are some interesting twists in the show that I don't want to get into too much because it spoils the entire last third of the series. But it's some really good shit.
Hmm.
I but I also know that you're planning on watching. You might are considering watching this in the future, so I don't want to spoil you on it.
Yeah, I'm just checking to see if I've added it to my catch-up list. I haven't yet. I should probably get rid of Magia. I can't watch it. It's not available to me.
That sucks. Magia is good. But yeah, no, this one is it's a really good one to watch.
Hmm.
The only pitfall the only significant pitfall to the series overall is the hour-long premiere feels a bit slow and over and dragged out.
Yeah.
Like it did not need to be an hour-long premiere, I don't believe. But other than that, and the ending being a bit open-ended, I don't see any real flaws with this. Any substantial issues a person might have with the series beyond some love triangle shenaniganry.
Yeah.
But it's a good series overall.
I'm glad.
I feel it does a good job with both its main character and supporting cast to
Yeah.
make a compelling story. Like this is one of only a handful of shows that actually made me cry this season.
Oh wow.
Yeah. The other two we've already discussed. Kageki Shoujo and Aquatope. But yeah,
What
no,
made you
this
cry
is
at Kageki? Interesting.
Ayako's first episode.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But yeah, no, this was a very good show. and I would definitely recommend it. It does get slow at parts, but once you've hit the first, like the third or fourth episode, it really hits its stride.
Okay, interesting. Moving on to
Yeah.
another show that is incredibly interesting, Sonny
Good
Boy.
lord, Sonny Boy is just
I I
so
still
much.
I still maintain that I am too dumb for this show.
This is a Galaxy Brain show for Galaxy Brain people, and I don't understand like at at least a third, if it
I
is
would
so
say I don't understand at least 50%, probably more.
it's just so steeped in metaphor and imagery,
And
and
philosophy.
it's and philosophy. It is just really hard to parse even a third of it on your own. Like those ANN reviews have been really helpful for
Oh,
parsing out.
so helpful. So fucking helpful. I would not have half the understanding of this show if it hadn't been for those.
But like
Steve
this
Jones
show
is
just
doing God's work with those.
yeah, yeah, no. But I do the one thing I will say is that I'm glad the show didn't end on like a super conclusive, definitive note
Yeah.
because that would have felt just it would have felt weird and wrong.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. As much as we are saying we didn't understand a vast majority of it, I think we can both also say this was still a really enjoyable show.
It was really good, and I appreciate like the central cast and what they bring to the narrative.
My one gripe is that uh, Nozomi never really felt like a character. She felt more like a plot device.
Hmm. Nozomi was easily the weakest of the main trio in terms of characterization.
It's
I absolutely dug Mizuho and Nagara and their relationship with each other.
Mizuho and Nagara were great, and I loved them. I also loved Rajdani. He was,
Rajdani, the best.
I mean, just the fact that he fucking appears with a parrot and nobody mentions it. Nobody asks, "Hey, you've got a tropical bird roosting on your shoulder."
Rajdani is absolutely awesome. And
Um,
I like the supporting cast
hmm,
too, or to the extent that they are relevant and make the series themes highlighted.
yeah, I'm not
Or
sure. Again, this may be because I just didn't understand some of the show. I'm not sure how well Asakaze's development went.
Asakaze was a weird one for me.
Yeah. Again, it's also the fact that he's tied up in Nozomi and her being a plot device again, which is not great because Nozomi
Nozomi,
had potential to be so much better than that.
I kind of wish they focused a bit more on fleshing out Nozomi's character.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
there are bits and pieces with her here and there, but it's not really enough.
yeah. I understand why it happened, but I also did kind of miss the likes of Cap and Hoshi.
Yeah, they kind of disappeared in the second half of the show.
Yeah, like I feel like they added a really certainly Cap added a fun dimension once he stopped being a dictator in episode one. Um, and Hoshi was an interesting character, and his stuff was very much connected to the whole God sub angle, which never really played as much of a
Yeah.
part as I necessarily thought it would. Um,
I mean, there's all sorts of speculation to be drawn from this series too as to what happens the rest of the cast in the second half of the
yeah,
series. Because like
I mean, I think the
after episode 6 or 7, most of the
yeah,
cast just drops out of focus.
I mean, I think the ANN reviewer hypothesized that the person Rajdani was talking about who kept trying to kill themselves was actually Hoshi.
Hmm. I Yeah, that would be interesting, and it would make a lot of sense.
Mm,
But it's all speculation,
yeah,
and this series lends itself really well to that kind of theorizing.
yeah. I mean,
But yeah,
um,
that shot you chose for the screenshot is also really cool.
just everything about that part of the episode was so fucking cool.
It was
Like,
so fucking wild and trippy.
oh my god, the visuals were just insane.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was so strange. Um, in terms of that final episode, I'm a little disappointed that Nagara and Nozomi didn't become friends again. Certainly not that we
I mean,
saw. Um,
baby steps.
Baby
Because
steps.
there are
I didn't.
are the
I never expected Nagara to be the one to offer the friendship. Put it that way.
no.
But what I was hoping was that something like what happened in the episode would happen, and they would come across each other, and Nozomi would just offer friendship. That if that had happened, that would have broken me. I would have cried,
That would
100%.
have been
I'm
very nice.
guaranteeing it. But what we got was still good. It was still good because again, it showed Nagara's growth. He was actually
While also
willing.
keeping him in character.
While still also keeping him in character. Overall,
Uh,
such an interesting show. I would recommend just giving it a watch anyway. You probably, unless you are very deep into philosophical writings, you probably won't understand a lot of it. But even then, it's still a really
oh, it
enjoyable
is
show.
very strange and obtuse, but it is so good.
It is very much just made for that audience of one, being Shingo Natsume. I mean,
Shingo Natsume made this anime for himself and for other people to maybe watch on the periphery. And you know what? Good for him.
no, good for him. He must have had a fucking ball this season. Must have had a absolute fucking ball with this.
He's an industry veteran. He's earned the ability to make this kind of shit.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, no. Sonny Boy, very good. Unfortunately, because I didn't understand a lot of it, it can't make its way too high in my rankings, but it is certainly up there.
Oh, same, yeah. But moving on to a series that's less good
Oh,
by
Spirit
quite a
Chronicles.
comfortable margin.
Spirit Chronicles.
Look, this the shot is a fairly good shot just because, like, the aesthetic. But this overall storyline is too compressed for me to get invested in. And I think the biggest issue with the anime is just the sheer compression of the source material to fit 5 volumes of light novel content into 12 episodes. This
Wow.
has the this is the opposite of 86 and Realist Hero
Yeah.
in terms of adaptational choices.
Jeez.
Because apparently they didn't think any of the previous volumes would make for a good stopping point.
Oof.
And instead of trying to make a 2 core anime to fit 5 volumes in, like, say, Log Horizon, they instead went with, hey, let's do 5 volumes of light novel content and squeeze them into 1 core of anime. Oh, that was such a bad idea.
It's
Though
it's
Silver Line,
TMS Entertainment. They've clearly got other things they want to do, like
yes.
Barky and Lupin the Third.
Yes. Though I do feel like the anime has accomplished its goal in getting me to want to check out light novels at the very least.
That's good at least.
I mean, that's basically the ultimate goal of most anime adaptations, to get you to want to read this or follow the source material.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have light novels on ebook form, so I'm gonna probably read them at some point when I have time after sorting through my massive ass backlog. God, I have so much. But anyways,
You want to move on?
Brief commentary on the season overall. Beyond it being very excessively fast paced, I do wish that they hadn't ended on a sequel tease, because that's like, I seriously doubt this is going to get a second season.
Yeah.
Like, of the 3 isekai I watched this season that weren't already sequels, this is the only one that doesn't have a sequel that got announced.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There was something that I watched that had felt like it had a sequel tease. What was it?
Yeah, this is very much reads like a read the light novel ending, which
Yeah,
is what I'm going to do, but it's unfortunate still.
yeah. Seriously, what was it?
Huh.
Whatever. So yeah, move on.
Move on.
To that time, I got reincarnated as a slime. Season 2, Part 2.
Electric Boogaloo. This was
So
good stuff.
I finally got what I wanted, which was fucking Rimuru in his badass Demon Lord outfit walking menacingly towards somebody.
Yep.
Clayman got fucking owned by pretty much everyone.
Yep.
I'm
Clayman's biggest enemy in the end wasn't Rimuru, it wasn't Shion, it wasn't even Milim. It was his own damn ego.
Yeah. It was very fun that poor it's Raphael now, isn't it? The wisdom thing.
Yeah, Raphael.
Raphael, yeah. Poor Raphael that's having to fucking serve Rimuru who just refuses to listen.
She's got it rough. Rimuru is too much of a dumbass sometimes for his own good.
It's less that he's a dumbass and more that he's like, yeah, no, I know exactly what's going on here. To be fair, he got it mostly right. Apart from the Carrion and Millen bits, he got it right.
Kinda.
So let me just check. Where did we leave off in the mid-season check? Yes, it was Benimaru being a badass.
Yes.
So then we get
then it transitioned to a Shuna episode, which was very pleasantly unexpected.
And pleasantly scary. Shuna is terrifying.
And she is a lot more powerful than you'd expect from her career choice.
Yeah. Like, she fucking played Adelman like a fiddle.
That's overstating Adelman's competence. She played him like a cheap kazoo.
Yeah. Poor guy. I feel bad for him.
I feel bad for him, but at the same time, like, Shuna getting to show her stuff was really good.
Oh no, that was
needed,
really great.
Honestly.
That was really great. But yeah, we also got, Walpurgis and yeah, I mean it was just everything that I wanted really.
Shion Ora Clayman was one of the most satisfying anime scenes this entire year.
Yeah. I mean everyone just fucking beating the shit out of Clayman was great.
It was just so fun watching Clayman get owned repeatedly.
Yeah.
And he brought it all on himself.
I will say it didn't really work when they tried to like show us Clayman's backstory and feel like, oh, isn't he sympathetic? No, he's not sympathetic. Stop trying to make him sympathetic.
He's more pitiful than sympathetic.
Yeah, I suppose.
Also, he becomes the personification of, I have many regrets right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Rimuru noms him, and 10 Demon Lords become 8. I refuse to apologize for that pun.
Let me think.
No.
Yeah, I'm ignoring it. Didn't we lose 3 Demon Lords?
Yes, but we gained 1.
Which
there
one?
There were 10 originally, then Rimuru became the 11th.
Rimuru was the 11th. Okay.
And then we lost 3 because Rimuru noms Clayman.
I was honestly struggling to keep track of who and what Demon Lords were around.
I mean, the only ones you really need to know from this season are the ones we've already met, plus Frey and Guy, or Guy.
I mean, I struggled to remember Carrion, apparently, because, hey, apparently Carrion was introduced in Season 1. And I just
Yeah,
forgot.
that's on you.
That's on me. I fully admit that I stopped paying attention to the Charybdis arc.
But
I
yeah,
felt like it wasn't very good, so I didn't pay attention. That's my fault.
mhm.
So,
Turns out it was important.
turns out, like, my complaining from the start of season 2 was not justified. Carrying stuff did happen. Uh, I feel bad about that one. What I don't feel bad about, as I said, is just absolutely loving every bit of badass Rimuru we get.
Hmm.
It's
I
always
also
great.
love the I also love the bit when Veldora shows up and
Oh,
just
fucking
starts busting out
Veldora! Just fucking giving the copyright department a heart attack.
Hadoukens and Kamehamehas left and right.
I mean,
God, that scene was
there are
great.
only so many people who will obviously get to do say Kamehameha in a show. Like, the fucking voice actor must have been absolutely jumping with joy to be able to actually get to do it.
Yeah, no, that is every voice actor's dream, I bet.
Yeah,
Or at least everyone who likes Dragon Ball Z to some degree.
yeah.
But
Um,
no, that was such a great scene. I love that he knew from basically the beginning that Milim wasn't brainwashed, and he
yeah,
was just dicking around because he was having a fun time.
yeah. And also, the only reason he came was because he wanted the next volume of his manga. Which, I mean, mood.
Fair. I've been there.
Is there anything else Slime Season 2? Let me just check the episodes. I don't think there is. Um,
No, we're getting a movie apparently next, but
hmm,
I'm wondering if that's going to be adapting more light novel stuff or if it's going to be original content. Because, like, the next light novel is also probably worth at least the majority of the core of anime.
okay.
So I don't know what they're going to be doing with the movie.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a My Hero non-canon side story thing, or if it's going to be like adapting the next light novel.
At this point,
Because
I'm invested enough in the world and the characters that I'll watch it regardless.
hmm, I will say I am glad that Shion and Ranga got something to do at this at
Yeah,
the Walpurgis because that
yeah.
was really great.
Um, I mean, yeah. Slime has definitely season 2 of Slime has definitely improved on season 1. Definitely improved.
Hmm.
I would say
Oh yeah,
the weakest part of this season was probably the first 2 3 episodes of the season.
yeah, the first half of season two.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Um, Otherwise, it's been pretty high quality.
Yeah,
I mean, not just from a plot and character point of view, but also animation. I mean, the fucking animators put their all into making Clayman's beatdown look as visceral as possible.
as it should be.
Yeah, but moving on to a show that didn't do as good a job in the animation department. To Your Eternity.
The thing is, when we left off in the mid-season check-in was at the end of that arc, and then the final episode made me sob uncontrollably. It was just so good. And part of what made it so strong was just like focusing on just two characters for most of its runtime. It was just almost entirely about Fushi and Pyoron, as Pyoron just starts fading because of old age and dementia, and it's really rough to watch. And this is Fushi's first experience with someone of an advanced age just fading because of that. And it is heartbreaking to watch. This the final episode broke me, and I am just I don't really have words to describe the feeling. It's just really damn. To Your Eternity is really good. Like, I have my quibbles with the animation and art stuff from the most of the last third of the show or so. But when it goes all in making emotional storytelling and impactful storytelling, it does a damn good job of it. Yeah, there's Fear Eternity is a really good show. All I can really say. Hell,
Yeah, I'm. Is that everything for To Your Eternity?
I want to say more, but I don't really know how to say it. It's just almost a month later, and I'm still collecting my thoughts on that final episode and how it just handles the topic of just old age and how people deteriorate over time. How just like sometimes a person at the end of their life doesn't remotely resemble who they were years, months, or even weeks earlier.
Hmm.
And it's just sad. Yeah, can't really say much else beyond this is just a really good show, and I'm looking forward to the second season immensely. No idea where it's going to go from here.
Moving on to another show that, if I've certainly from what I've seen from many tweets, is also sad. Tokyo Revengers.
Yes, this series has a similar issue to. So you picked that one. Glad you picked that green screenshot. Because this is from the final scene of the season. It ends on a cliffhanger with a gun to Takemichi's head.
Oh wow.
And the last sound you hear as the credits roll is a gunshot.
Of course it is.
I see this getting a second season. You do not have such a runaway success of manga sale increases without getting
Mm.
some sort of sequel announced at some point.
Oh yeah, this is shot up to maybe not quite Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer levels, but bloody near it.
I think it like increased the manga sales sevenfold or something, which is insane.
Certainly, I think it's the closest. Certainly, I think it's probably one of the biggest non-Shonen Jump increases.
Yeah, that does not surprise me. But no, show ends on a cliffhanger, and after the previous arc had been kind of a roller coaster of quality, but like the final episode was really compelling because it sends Takemichi back to the present. Oh, excuse me, and drops him into a new status quo that he has no context for. And then it ends with him and his friend getting beat up, his friend getting shot in the head,
Oof.
and the final scene of the episode is, oh yeah, this is the big bad saying, yeah, I hate your guts and I'm going to kill you right now. Any last words? So yeah, cliffhanger right there.
Hmm.
And I have no idea how to process this. And I want a season 2 announcement very badly. Like, talk about a way to get your audience hooked.
That certainly is gonna, probably lead to an even bigger increase in people wanting to get the manga.
Yeah, that's one hell of a cliffhanger. Jesus Christ.
Because hey,
But yeah,
I don't know about you, but if I'd been watching a show that ended like that, I would have gone and bought the volume that resolves said cliffhanger immediately.
funds insufficient, unfortunately. Excuse me. Cheer. Yeah, yeah, let's move on, because otherwise I'll just be rambling about this cliffhanger and how stressed it's made me feel.
Moving on to Tsukimichi.
Tsukimichi is a weird one, because for all the fun I've had with its characters and their great interactions, like the one seen here in the screenshot, I feel like the biggest issue with the show is that it feels kind of aimless in its plotting.
Mm.
It doesn't really have like a strong story arc to go along with it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the characters go dick around, zipping back and forth, point A, point B, point C, and so on. And there's not really like any firm direction for them to go.
Mm.
That's like my biggest critique of the series, is that it's overall not very it's very directionless.
Yeah.
On the other hand, though, the characters and their interactions are absolutely great amongst the main cast.
That's good at least.
There are a couple of really fun supporting characters as well that I really like, but the main cast is what makes the show, and their dynamic with each other is really great.
Yeah.
Also, we have Kenjiro Suda doing a non-normal Kenjiro Suda voice as a major character towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
He does this interesting, soft-spoken kind of voice that I don't really hear from him a lot. He's playing the dude with the red hair in the bottom left corner of the screenshot.
The one with the skull coming out of
Yeah.
their mouth? That's a guy?
Yeah, that's a guy.
Okay.
He's a very meek guy, too.
Wow, okay, yeah, that's not a usual Kenjiro Suda role. Usually they give those roles to Murase.
Yeah, no. Kenjiro Suda voices him.
Interesting.
And he has a much higher pitched voice than usual in this role, at least. But yeah, I'm glad this one has a second season announced, but I have no idea where they're going to go with the plot, because the plot line overall has been kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, again, my biggest issue with the show is the meandering plot. But yeah, I believe we only have one more show on the docket.
And
that
it
is
a good one. Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun. It is yet another one that I have a slideshow for.
Just end with a strong finisher, and Iruma is a good finisher.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the date episode. I love the date episode.
The date episode was very good.
Honestly, quite possibly my favorite episode of the show this season. Actually, like, in the entirety of Iruma Season 2.
I just had to pick this screenshot because I just found it so hilarious. Just how innocent Iruma looks there while he's asking how you become ruler of hell. And then obviously that one just looks incredible.
Yeah, Season 3 teaser.
And yeah, no, I'm so glad it's getting Season 3. Iruma is so fun.
It is.
I mean, I don't think we actually have much to discuss because I think we only have like 2 episodes to discuss.
Yeah, it's the date episode and the finale.
Yeah.
Both of which are good episodes, though.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, the date episode, it's poor Amory. She just wanted to feel like a shoujo manga character, and she realized she's actually in
a shonen.
Yeah. Just that realization of, oh god, I'm so tall, and he's so short.
That height difference, though.
Yeah. And just her struggles to be the demure one, when, really, lots of people would just like to be stepped on by Amory.
Amory is definitely the top in this relationship.
100%.
But honestly, she and Iruma have just fantastic chemistry.
Yeah.
I just, at this point, I can't not see them becoming a couple at the end. I would be so so sad and angry if they didn't get together.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna leave somebody heartbroken, but I think we can put that aside.
Hmm.
As we'll find
Yeah.
love again.
Yes.
I hope you thought initially I was talking about Clara, because that was what I was going for.
Yeah. No. No. I would not be surprised in the slightest if Alice turned out to be gay for Aruma. Like,
Mm,
100% would not be surprised.
yeah. Um. So yeah, no
Not
date.
like they'd have to go particularly deep into subtext to justify it.
Yeah. Date episode very good, very enjoyable, and then the next episode, yeah,
Next episode is Sullivan being a doting grandfather. That's really fun to watch.
yeah, but also fucking Iruma, assumedly starting his path to become Lord of the Demon Realm.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see that journey.
Yeah. Again, just how fucking innocent he looks. Just just him looking like himself, as he's like, "How do I take over hell?"
It that just juxtaposition is great.
Yeah. Again, I do just love Iruma as a character. He's so endearing, so incredibly endearing.
Hmm.
And yeah, I genuinely cannot wait for season 3, and maybe finding
Same.
out who this fucking guy who appears in the ED is, and actually appears in the final shot of the season when
Hmm.
Kalego says everyone has to get to, what was it, rank 4?
Rank 4.
Yeah, because he does actually appear there. I noticed him.
From what Tony has said, I believe he only starts to become prominent like towards the end of the material in season 3 or beginning of season 4 stuff.
Oh, great.
So, long way to go. But
Yeah,
I could be wrong, or Coney could just be lying to avoid spoilers.
we'll see. We will see.
Yeah, that is the end of our seasonal coverage, but now we can move on to the award stuff.
Okay, please, please, please. I have actually set this up properly, and nothing is up just yet. Good. I got it right this time. So
That's good.
we are starting with best protagonist. So Jack, your let me just scroll up. Your runner-up, Hashiba Kyoya from Remake Our Lives. Wait, no.
Yep,
Fuck. Oops. Fuck that up.
that's your runner-up.
I know. My bad. I do have it. I know I fucking saved the picture. Where is it? There it is. Give me a second. I'm I'm tired. I'm very tired. I thought I had done this, but apparently not. 594 334. There we go. Hashiba Kyoya.
Yeah, that's a good screenshot of him.
I thought so. So, do you want to explain your rationale?
Uh, yeah, I explained a little bit of it in my coverage of the actual season, but Choya just has a lot of character growth that goes on with him throughout the season.
Hmm.
Like he he makes a lot of mistakes too, and learns and grows from those mistakes
Yeah.
by just like trying to do right by his friends and coworkers, and trying to be a better person than he was before, and trying to improve on his previous life. But at the same time, understanding that sometimes, even with the best of intentions, he can fuck up and make things worse for people.
Hmm.
And it's just really good character writing.
Yeah.
But I feel Kyoya's journey definitely makes him a very strong contender for this uh, for this nomination.
Hmm.
But he unfortunately is runner up. I would also like to honorably mention a couple of other characters, namely Kokoro and Noe.
Hmm.
I don't think I would really put them on the list for like the top spot, but they are still very good characters, I think, and
Hmm.
deserve a mention at least here.
Yeah.
And also, I guess Nagara from Sonny Boy would also probably be a good honorable mention.
Hmm. My runner-up. You've already seen it. Miyazawa Fuka from Aquatope on the White Sand.
Interesting choice because I don't really think she qualifies as the protagonist.
I don't care.
That's fair.
Honestly, I was struggling so much
That's fair.
because like let me go through my fucking list of new shows. Battle Game, not a fucking chance.
Ha,
Nighthead. I liked the brothers, not good enough for best pro tag. Aquatope. Yeah. Sonny Boy. I do like Nagara. He's not my favorite member of the cast, or even my second favorite member of the cast, unfortunately. Um, probably is my third, actually. Probably is my third. He would be
mm.
fourth if the dog wasn't voiced by Kenjiro Suda. Idaten, yeah, not a chance. Vanitas, unfortunately, Noe and Vanitas come as a package deal, so.
Yeah.
Um, D underscore side, yeah, no. Uh, Remain, if Minato had stayed as his normal happy living self, yeah, he probably would have gotten runner up, but he didn't, even if he did get better. And Fena, again, Fena, the actual character, just has not had enough agency for me to really justifiably give her best protagonist.
Yeah, unfortunately, Fena is lacks a lot of agency.
Which is, it's a shame because I do like Fena, but I just don't see her as best protagonist, or even second best protagonist. But you know who is best protagonist, Jack?
Oh, I'm
Watanabe
sure
Sarasa.
we are in agreement.
We are very much in agreement. It is not the last time either. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Oh yeah, no. This season we are very consistent on a lot of things, but Sarasa is just such a good character and protagonist.
I just love her so much, and all fucking credit to, let me just check, Sayaka Senbongi. Yes, Sayaka Senbongi, her voice actress, because she does such a fucking good job of managing to get that rage.
Hmm.
I realized we didn't talk about Saras's inspiration when she was playing Tybalt,
Oh
which was
yeah.
the whole
Um,
deal with her maybe not boyfriend.
yeah, no, it's just
That's
her
really
jealousy.
interesting, that relationship, because it
Like
we did.
her entire drive for playing Tybalt, or rather, the inspiration she draws is the jealousy she feels towards him over his being able to do kabuki while she can't because of her gender.
Well, I don't think she was jealous. I don't think she's now jealous. But what I do think is, or
Well,
I'm
her
not,
childhood sense of jealousy.
childhood sense of
Yeah.
jealousy definitely, but it's the whole um like, yes, they were about to go on a date, and I'm sure had she not heard that conversation, Sarasa would have been absolutely fine going out with him. But then overhearing the conversation where what's his face, Kozaburo, um, told him to ask Sarasa out.
Hmm.
Um, and again, I'm not sure if I fully understood what was going through Saras's mind there, but it certainly seems very interesting. And again, it's just another thing that makes her such a good character because she's not all happy smiles.
Mm-hmm.
She is a deep character.
Though the happy smiles do make her for some entertaining interactions with other characters.
Oh no, her happy smiles are some of the best parts about her, but I just also love that she is multi-dimensional for sure.
Yeah, she is. I mean, that's part of the reason we both picked her, right?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, probably even in a stronger season, Sarasa would still probably be up there.
Yeah.
I mean,
In a stronger season, if there was a better protagonist, she would still be runner-up.
yeah.
But she's the winner in this season, and it's deserved.
Yeah, it's not particularly close, honestly,
Yeah.
on my part certainly. But moving on to best antagonist, we have a confession.
Category,
We have a confession to make. None of us really watched shows with good antagonists, certainly not new ones. So
we made an exception to the normal rules and decided
yeah,
that for this particular category, we were allowing sequels and carryovers to compete.
yeah, we really just
Because otherwise, we'd have nothing.
We really didn't have anything. Anyway,
yeah.
Jack, your runner-up for best antagonist is Hayase from To Your Eternity.
Let me tell you, she did a damn good job of making herself a loathsome asshole.
Mm.
And yet, somehow also did a good job of being a very oddly, creepily devoted person.
Yeah.
Like, this is the type of character you want a yandere to be. A very disturbing antagonist who you would love to hate.
Yeah.
And she plays the role really well. And I think she's a very good love-to-hate character, in my opinion.
Mm. I mean, in the episodes that I watched, she was, pretty hateable.
Yeah. She gets better/worse in later episodes.
Mm.
Yeah, who's your runner-up?
My runner-up is Ruthven August from Case Study of Vanitas. Yes, that my winner is in fact from a sequel. This is the best choice I had out of new shows.
That's fair. Completely fair. Ruthven is a decent antagonist. I just feel like he doesn't have enough.
Yeah, we just didn't get enough of
screen time. He doesn't have enough screen time.
The main reason I picked him is just because he was genuinely menacing.
He does have a lot of genuine menacing presence.
Like in the episode where he kicked Noe and Vanitas out of the vampire world, he showed genuine power and menace. In the final episode, he was clearly could have done anything he wanted to Noe. And yeah, there just isn't much else otherwise. Honourable mentions must go, of course, to capitalism in Aquatope. Because hey, who doesn't love a good story about capitalism? And heteronormativity in both Aquatope and Case Study of Vanitas. Because I mean, because we were talking about the lack of antagonists in the TFS Discord. What was it, a week or two ago? I think it was only a week ago, something like that. And I went through, certainly from my shows, and for Vanitas, I did actually say Vanitas has actually got 3 or 4 pretty decent antagonists. The issue is its greatest antagonist is heteronormativity. It just overshadows all of them.
The other issue with Vanitas is that none of its antagonists have gotten substantial screen time.
No, they haven't yet. That may change in the second core, but we will just have to see on that front.
Yeah.
Jack, your winner, Demon Lord Clayman from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Season 2.
I mean, it's not hard to really... It's really not that difficult a decision for me. He basically carried it was hard to find a series a show that had an antagonist basically be the driving factor of the entire season.
Mm,
But Clayman really pulled it off here, even if he was the ultimately the main cause of his own downfall,
mm.
which I think works really well, in my opinion. But oh, that was redundant, wasn't it? Whatever. But yeah, Clayman I think was probably the best antagonist of the season,
Mm.
just by virtue of being such a fantastic love to hate character and being both an interesting take on the puppet master, chess master type
Mm.
antagonist, and also the antagonist of his the architect of his own downfall.
Yeah. Oh, I just forgot an honorable mention. God question mark and Sonny Boy.
Oh yeah, that was
I have to add the question mark because we're still not
it's very
100% sure
unfair.
if he is God or if he's just some powerful being who just gets bored easily.
Huh?
I don't know. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, back to Clayman real quick. He just works really well as a love to hate villain, and
oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
his defeat at the end of the season feels very cathartic and earned.
Hmm.
But who's your winner if it's not Clayman?
I kind of
Oh,
cheated.
I think I know.
I kind of cheated a little. I want you to guess because I'm willing to bet you aren't going to get it.
Is it Redestro?
It's not. I have actually not disavowed, but I'm not putting my hero up for any of my categories because it's too easy for it to win.
You know what? That's fair.
I know what I'm about, and what I'm about is complete fanboying for my hero, and it's just not fair to any other shows. No, as I said,
Okay,
I cheated for this one. I feel a little bad, but not that bad. My
okay, who is it?
antagonist of the season is the moderate Harlequin Alliance.
Ah, okay, so the whole alliance.
Yeah. Because honestly, Clayman, I would have picked Clayman for part one of season two. By part two, his downfall was already coming, and we were basically just running out the time he had left.
That's fair, I guess.
Whereas the clowns I don't remember. I don't
Laplas, Footman, and Tyr.
Footman. That was the third one. Footman and Tyr obviously gave what's his face who released Charybdis and Geld a run for their money.
Yeah.
And Laplace ended the fucking season by completely destroying a dude.
Yeah, no, he destroyed a guy who was on Clayman's level.
Yeah. So like they're more going to be for the future, sure, but just out of all I had left, they seemed like in general the most threatening. I mean, they're not good. They won't be able to hold a candle to not even Rimru's inner circle, let alone Rimru himself. But for the time being, they are relatively threatening, and they caused some chaos in this most recent season of Slime.
Hmm.
As I said, I know I cheated by picking three people, but I honestly
No,
couldn't.
that's fair.
I couldn't pick
I
anyone
like
else.
them and I like their camaraderie with each other.
Yeah,
It's really great.
yeah, no, I do like the designs and I like their gimmick of being Harlequins, and I do think they are interesting. Moving on to the next category, which is best boy.
I think we are at consensus for this one.
We are wholly at consensus. So in runner up, Rajdani from Sonny Boy.
Rajani was the best character in Sonny Boy, in my opinion, and it's not
Hmm.
hard to see why.
Yeah, he's. I just love him. I just love his wide-eyed curiosity about the world, and the
He's just
fact,
so earnest.
yeah, the fact that he is the only one of the class to come to Nozomi's funeral, or
Her wake.
memorial service, wake, whatever. Yeah, like that just speaks volumes about him.
Yeah.
He's over 2,000 at that point as well. It has been
Yeah, it's
2,000
wild what
years since that he has seen them, and yet he still comes back.
Rashani is just such a good, kind friend.
He is, and he's got a fucking parrot.
Yeah. And that's not even getting into all the cool stuff he does earlier,
Yeah.
working hard to figure out the mysteries of the world.
No, Rajdani's great. Rajdani is great. Unfortunately, he just could not match up to the best boyedness of our best boy winner, our
It
joint
was
winner. Noe Archivist from Case Study of Vanitas. He's just adorable. He's just such a cinnamon roll.
He's just such a sweet boy.
Yeah.
And notably, this means that both of our best boy nominees in both for winner and runner-up are of color. Yeah. Which is nice.
And again, we didn't mention this with Rajdani. He's treated just so normally. He's not stereotyped.
Yeah.
He's just a normal Indian question mark boy.
I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be Indian.
Yeah,
he might be another nationality of South Asian that isn't mentioned, but
they mentioned Indian in I think episode 11, so that's what I'm gonna go for just out of instinct. But if we're wrong, sorry, but yeah, no way is just such an adorable, kind boy. I love him.
Yeah,
Not to mention he can fucking fight when he needs to.
That too. And also I just love how just sweet he is with everybody, and
yeah.
He's just such a good kid.
Moving on to best girl. Jack, your runner up is Miyazawa Fuka.
Yeah, I didn't feel like she was quite focused on enough to be a best protagonist contender, but I do feel like I wanted to
Yeah, I was pushing it with that one, and I'm aware, but I didn't have that many other choices.
I want to give Fuka the recognition she deserved, and I put her on for runner-up for best girl.
Absolutely.
Like, she's just such a compassionate person, and even though she's clearly struggling with her own issues, she still wants to help.
Yeah.
And just her relationship with Kukuru is the bedrock the show is built on.
And also her, earnestness and hard-working nature to actually become like a really knowledgeable member of the aquarium team.
Yeah, no, she puts in the work, and it shows. Your runner-up would be?
My runner-up is Mizuho from Sonny Boy.
Yeah, I can see that. I actually have her as an honorable mention.
Yeah, no, I just again I put down a list. I will actually go through my list of potential best girl. I think runner up at that point because I decided the winner. Aya, Udon, Nozomi, Mizuho, Fena, Karin, and Dominique. But just out of all of them, Mizuho was the one I enjoyed the most. Just her dry sense of humor, her reservedness, and yet, once you actually get under the surface, it is so clear that she does care for all of her friends.
Yeah. She's such a good person.
Yeah.
Despite her sour exterior at times. And seeing her kind of just evolve is really neat.
And again, because, the Mizuho of even sort of episode 4, episode 5 probably wouldn't have gone with Nagata in episode 11. But by that point, she is... She doesn't love Nagata romantically, but she probably, platonically loves him. They've spent 2 years together.
I mean, honestly, if it wasn't platonic, I'd still ship it.
Yeah, no, and I just, as I said, I just enjoyed whenever Mizuho was on the screen, honestly, and it's
Mizuho is probably my favorite character of the series after Rajani.
oh, I would probably say the same thing. Rajdani, Mizuho, and then Nagara.
Yeah,
And as I said, it's why it's because Mizuho is such a good character. It's why it's a shame that Nozomi didn't manage to get the same treatment. But
hmm
once again, Jack, we are in sync. For best girl, Narita Ai from Kageki Shoujo.
I considered putting Ayako here, but it has to be I.
So when
It
I when
really
I, yeah when I was going through my list, or when I made my list actually before I'd picked my winner, and then I had a look at your nominations, saw I, and just thought about it for a second, went, actually, yeah, no, I's the winner. I can't pick anyone else. Fuck. Guess I'm picking for runner-up then.
Yep. It's just hard to go to beat I because she is just such
It's just so nice to see her recover
her
from
growth.
her trauma.
Yeah. See her growth and recovery, especially her just earnestly and hopelessly trying to just be a good friend to Sarasa.
Oh god, so many episodes where she was trying to psych herself up to call Sarasa by her first name. So
It
many
was so
episodes.
she's such a wonderful dork. I love her so much.
Oh, but yeah, and again, it's not, especially subtle, the growth from the trauma, in that it's made clear by I growing her hair out, but it was every new episode where there had been a time skip and I's hair is suddenly just that little bit longer. It's always just, yeah, she is getting better. She is healing. Um, and not just that, just her actual interest in, being a Coca actress.
hmm
At the start of the show, she genuinely could not care less about actually being a Coca actress. She was only there to get away from men.
hmm
By the end of the show, she is, I would say, close to heartbroken that she didn't get the role of Juliet. She
Yeah,
was genuinely upset
no.
about it.
Yeah, and the worst part is that you can't really fault the judges for picking
No, it
Ayako
it
over her.
makes sense, and she understands that completely. She wholeheartedly understands it, and it doesn't stop the hurt. But she doesn't go back to her room and cry. She doesn't, try and argue her point with any of the judges, with Andro or her uncle. She stays and waits to celebrate with Sarasa. Again,
Just so wonderful.
the girl from episode 2 wouldn't have done that, and that is as clear a sign of growth as you can get, and it's why she is
Yeah.
best girl.
Yep.
And I think it says something about Kageki Shoujo that its protagonist got best protagonist from both of us, and one of its characters got best girl from both of us.
Yeah, it says a lot.
Moving on to best ensemble. Let me just turn the page. So Jack, your runner-up is. Let me make sure I'm clicking the right one. Aquatope of White Sand. On White Sand, of White Sand, I'm not sure.
On White Sand.
On White Sand. Of course, we aren't actually sure if they meant Aquatrope and just felt awkward trying to correct it after so much promotional material said Aquatope. But hey, it's not our issue.
I mean, this is just a good ensemble cast with only 1 weak link, so I feel comfortable putting it as my runner-up. It's just the weak link prevents it from being the winner.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair judgment. Do you have anything else to say, or should I name my runner-up?
Go for it.
My runner-up is Remake, because I love my cast
Ah,
of dumb water polo boys.
You do love your himbos.
I do love my himbos.
I mean,
Uh,
who doesn't love a good himbo, honestly?
I mean, just the entire cast was all endearing in their own way. The only one I would maybe say is little ends up on a bit the wrong side of creepy is Etaro, but even then, it's easily forgotten. And even the rival team is endearing, and even the fucking group of shithouses who like begged off their practice match and made them face grade schoolers, they were still pretty fun, just because they did that. If anything else. They had the balls to go into the changing room, brag about how they were going to beat them, and then go, "Oh, actually, most of our team is at 6, so you're going to be facing these kids." Also, we haven't won. It's just, yeah, no, Remake. For the third category in a row, though, we are once again in agreement that the best ensemble is Kageki Shoujo.
Now, this, my friends, is called foreshadowing.
Just the entire cast is fantastic. The entire cast got some screen time, got some character, and there is the only character that I dislike out of the entire cast is, well, two characters. One, the teacher who bullied Aya into the eating disorder, and two, Hijiri for being the alpha bitch.
Yes, a grade A bitch.
Again, I personally wanted to put her up for best antagonist, but I was told I wasn't allowed. She's not actually an antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much there is more to say about Kageki Shoujo that we haven't already said. It's a fantastic show.
There really isn't.
In this case, it is. We are pinpointing the entire cast, which is stellar. So we will instead move on to one of our new categories for this season: best ship or best relationship.
Yes.
Before we
named
get
it best ship instead of best couple because there are sometimes like OT3s and stuff that we can put in here.
we should also say we are not just including, official relationships in the shows. We are putting whoever the hell we want to ship together in as well.
Hell yeah. Because
So,
best couple is just such a limiting category.
and also, shows going directions that we disagree with.
Exactly.
So, Jack, your runner-up: Tomoe, Makoto, and Mio from Tsukimichi.
Yeah, no, the main trio just has such a great relationship dynamic.
I hope you enjoy that screenshot, by the way.
Yeah, it's the best screenshot you could have picked.
I was looking for stuff. I found one that I was going to go, I'm not 100% happy with it, but I'll save it for later. And then I saw that one and went, that one's getting it. That one's as good. I'm not getting any better than that unless they are actually engaged in sex.
Yeah, no, like this is the ideal three-way relationship form. You may not like it, but this is what perfection looks like. I mean, but this is like how you do a three-way relationship in like in a fantasy in like an isekai anime. Like
What,
just having it really
male,
balanced.
female, female, where the male is the meat in the sandwich?
Not necessarily, just like having a good, strong dynamic between the three leads that has them all have believable chemistry with one another that makes a relationship work like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind it being a FMF, but if they tried another gender combination, I wouldn't complain. It's the character dynamics that I find are more important. And the character dynamics for this relationship are really good.
That's good. My runner-up: Noe and Vanitas. we've talked about it. They're so clearly, certainly, no, I would say they are both attracted to each other. I mean, the fact is that fucking Noe asked Vanitas what the devil is love.
Mm-hmm.
Again, what heterosexual explanation is there for that scene?
I don't know. All I know is that ship is an honorable mention of mine, and there is the homoerotic sexual tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife.
Yeah, no, again, honorable mention for me, Noe and Dominique. It was actually relatively close for which one I picked.
Yeah.
Because as I said, I do like that the relationship they have, but at the same time, the homoeroticism is too strong. Too strong.
Yep.
In terms of the winners, for the fourth category in a row, we are in agreement. Fuka and Kukuru from Aquatope on White Sand. Again, we have talked at length why we believe this to be the best ship already.
Seriously, showrunners, stop being fucking cowards and make it canon.
Yeah. Stop this sister bullshit and have them together, because Jesus Christ.
Just let them hook up, damn you.
Yeah. Okay, then, moving on to Best OP. Little different this season in that instead of screenshots from the OPs themselves, I have gotten GIFs. It was not easy to make, but I will persevere for future seasons. Jack, your runner-up is Gamble by Siodu for Tsukimichi.
Yeah, I really like this one. This one's really punchy and all sorts of chaotic and insane, with a really good song to go with it. I was considering putting Kageki Shoujo's OP for this for the runner-up, but I like this one just a tiny bit more.
Yeah.
And like Kageki Shoujo is just, while a great OP, I feel like the ED is better.
Thank you for reminding me about that. I have to just do something there on that front. Okay.
Your runner-up, though, I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
Okay, guess.
Is it Kageki Shoujo?
No, it is not. It is in fact...
Really?
No, it was... Kageki Shoujo was third. Very close third. But I went for Sora to Utsuru by Sasanomaly, the case study of Vanitas.
Yeah, I can see that.
I watched them and I do love Kageki Shoujo's OP. Do not get me wrong, Kageki Shoujo's OP is so good. It is so good. And I will mention the song, Hoshino Orchestra by Saji. It is so good. The song is so good. The animation is so good. But just nothing could, it just couldn't beat the fucking OP being a date between Vanitas and Noe. Genuinely, if you just that 15-second clip, if you watch that not knowing what Vanitas was about, you would guess that it was a rom-com between Noe and Vanitas. There is no other option it could be from that OP. And yeah, no, the song is so catchy as well. It's a really good song. But as much as I did try and think about if there was any way I could get away with not putting this either first or second, first for both of us, I think is that yeah, that's the fifth category. We are in sync on our winners. Seija no Koshin by Tatsuya Kitani. Idaten Deities.
This OP is so fucking good.
Unfortunately,
the trippy visual matching with just the epic track that goes with it. It's just out of this world.
I will point out that for every other GIF, I tried to get to 15 seconds. For Idaten Deities, I cut it off at 11 because the four or so seconds after where it stops is the topless nun.
Oh boy, yeah.
And honestly, I didn't want to show it, let alone have the fucking GIF stop on it. So I decided to just cut it off before that.
Smart.
Yeah. Yeah, the song is a banger. The visuals are great. There's not much more to say about it. The OP deserves to be with a better show.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But, so, moving on to Best ED. Jack, your runner-up is, let me make sure I'm going to pronounce this right, Tsukiyumi no Yorikago by Mia Regina, Aquatope on White Sands.
I really love this OP. It's just so... not this OP, ED. I really love it just because of how ethereal it is.
Mm.
It feels like you're just slowly sinking into the open ocean.
No, go ahead.
And just has that really strong sound and imagery that matches with that sensation of sinking and swimming in the deep sea.
Fun fact, Crunchyroll did not upload this.
Really?
No.
Why the fuck not?
I don't know. They upload most of their other stuff.
That is a crime right there.
So while for the rest of them I did try and find as official a source as I could, either Crunchyroll or the studio itself or the producer itself or whatever, this one is unofficial. I could have just used OBS and recorded it from Crunchyroll, except for the fact that Crunchyroll is a bitch about that. Understandably a bitch about it, but still a bitch.
So what'd you pick instead? What'd you pick for your runner-up, rather?
My runner-up... let me just prepare for this. Hoshimo Tabibito, Shinakaya Mirai, My Sunset, Barato Watashi, for Kageki Shoujo. I have to list all those names because they are apparently different songs, when they're not.
They have the same chord progression and similar lyrics. I don't know the lyrics, actually.
But
they have similar chord progressions.
Yeah. To go through the artists, so for Hoshino Tabibito, it was sung by Sayaka Senbongi, aka Sarasa Watanabe, and Yumiri Hanamori, aka Narata Ai. Shirakaya Mirai was sung by Sumire Uesaka, aka Sawa, and Riko Sasaki, aka Aya. My Sunset was by Riko Sasaki, and there were two versions of Barato Watashi, one by Yo Taichi, aka Kaoru, and one by Rise and Satsumi Matsuda, the Sawara twins.
Which, fun fact, the voice actors for the twins are also twins.
Yeah, no, I was overjoyed to find that out. That's really cool, and I do like that. Yeah, as I said, I mean, probably should have just picked one. But they're the same. But they're pretty much they're very similar song, if not the same song. And the visuals.
I honestly would not be able to justify picking any one song out of the four rather.
It would pretty much
because they're all so similar.
It would pretty much be which performance you prefer more.
Mm.
And
It's hard to pick though because they're all good.
yeah, and it's just not worth it. You might as well just pick all of them.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a really good ED. Do you want me to reveal your first place so we can?
Yeah, go for it.
Because Jack has also picked the Kageki Shoujo EDs for his winner rather than runner-up. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
good shit. Really good shit. I
they're
will also say that my honorable mention would probably be for probably for case study of Vanitas would be my highest honorable mention.
yeah, yeah. They're really enjoyable. It's always fun hearing the voice actor or voice actresses sing,
Hmm.
and the duets always worked well. Uh,
Yep.
and I loved the changing visuals.
Oh yeah, the visuals were really good.
The visuals were always
Almost
good,
all of them. Hmm.
but uh, I chose not to have the Kageki Shoujo EDs as my winner. My winner is in fact Zero by Limp Case Study of Vanitas.
Out of curiosity, what was your third place?
Oh, I'm not sure actually. I don't think I actually went as far as to pick third place. Oh, actually, Sonny Boy. I
Oh,
couldn't.
interesting.
I couldn't pick it for winner because, frankly, it just rolls credits. There is no animation, but that fucking song is a banger.
Yeah, it is a banger.
That song is a banger. I'm not like I would. I would have picked it for the song alone, but both of these are incredibly good. Um, yeah, no, I love Zero by Link. I bought both the English version and Japanese versions for it. Um,
Mm.
it's a really good song. I just really like I think the visuals are very good as well, though. It's well, no, I like the visuals. There is no but. The visuals are good. Again, it emphasizes the relationship between Noe and Vanitas, which the show should do.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll ever get explicit about that subtext.
I don't think so, from what I've heard. Nobody who's
Yeah,
read it has
nothing.
said they get together eventually. They're all like, no, it continues as homoeroticism.
That's a damn shame.
It is. So yeah. Again, more rewards for Kageki Shoujo, which isn't
Yep.
surprising.
Yep. All right.
Moving on to our second new category, Best Animation.
Oh yeah, this one was a fun one.
This is one that we allowed sequels for, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Jack, your runner-up is Magia Record Season 2, deservedly so.
Yeah. Holy fuck, that Sakuga.
Yeah.
Like you can just watch it from this GIF. Like holy shit. And this is from the premiere.
Yeah.
Just like
I wish
holy.
I wish I could have included more, but I only had 15 seconds.
Oh, that's fine, dude. That's fine. Like the whole premiere is just like the most of the season is just really quality animation across the board.
Yeah.
The only two real downturns are episode 6 and maybe 7, but it is overall a really strong animation showcase for the studio. It's just really good stuff.
Yeah.
But your runner-up, I assume, is not this because you haven't watched it.
Nope. My runner-up, I actually went for maybe not brave choice, but what I would consider unexpected. But honestly, I wanted to give props. My runner-up for best animation is Nighthead 2041.
Oh, interesting.
I wanted to give props to this 3D animation because it is genuinely good. is genuinely so good, and it is
That's
what we should be getting from CG animation, and it takes full advantage of what 3D animation can do. There are so many shards of glass, bullets, or concrete and ground and all that sort of stuff that you just can't get in 2D animation because it would take a literal age for animators to animate them all.
Yeah, I've seen just a handful of CG animations that do that kind of shit well.
And Nighthead reveled in its ability to just create so much rubble around what it was doing. Maybe to the extent that it was probably overdone, but I don't care because it looked good. It always looked good. And yeah, I could have chosen other, probably better animated shows, but I really just wanted to give the spotlight to Nighthead and give
That's
approval
fair.
to, to a CG show that deserved it. Your winner, Jack. Dragon Maid Season 2. Honestly,
This should.
I'm not happy with the gift that I picked, but I was kind of tired by this point. And it's
No,
relatively...
that's. I mean, you could have just picked from a different scene that I told you about, but
Yeah, but I tried to...
vary it up.
I did try and vary it up, yeah. I try not to take gifts from the same bit for best animation and best fight.
I mean, if you'd asked me, I could have pointed you to a scene from the finale.
Yeah, but as I said, I was just tired and I just picked one. And
That's fair.
the start of it did look really good, and then it just sort of turned cartoony, cartoony comedy, and I was like, I
That's
can't
fair.
be bothered finding anything else. It still looks pretty good.
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is still consistently very well animated across the board.
I mean, that's the other thing. Like, I can't imagine anyone would doubt that Kobayashi looks great.
Yeah, no, it's just really good. Really, really good.
Mm-hmm. And
But
again, love that KyoAni is being able to put this sort of stuff out again.
yeah.
Always nice. So my winner, was it this one that I agonized about? Not really. That time I got reincarnated as a slime
That's fair.
because boy did it
That's
look good
some,
this season.
yeah, it did.
Boy
It
did
really
it look
did.
good. And there is
The
Veldora
Kamehameha.
fucking doing the Kamehameha.
Yes.
Uh,
Perfection.
I mean, yeah, slime just really did look so good, and it worked so well for this season because it was so combat heavy in the second half.
hmm I honestly probably would have put in Slime as my runner-up if it weren't for just
No,
Dragon Maid and Magia Record just popping the fuck off.
you had very easy choices, which I was slightly frustrated about because I had to think a lot harder about it. You had fucking Magia Record, which has been Sakuga filled most of the run, and fucking Dragon Maid.
I do not envy you. Your relative lack of choices.
Most of my stuff wasn't like very Sakuga heavy.
Which
And
is unfortunate, but
yeah,
hey.
and I just like to point out that I had to work so hard to get that Nighthead clip
I bet.
because, well, first of all, as I said, recording doesn't work for Crunchyroll. Like, it just shows the black screen. They didn't put it up on YouTube, which doesn't surprise me, honestly. There's no GIFs of it already existing. So what I had to do is I had to get creative with OBS and use a browser source to do it. But that was also very difficult to do because it was a whole thing. It was difficult, but I did it and I'm happy.
Yep.
But moving on to Best Fight.
Oh, this is a fun one.
So, Jack, your runner-up is Shion versus Clayman, reincarnated as a slime.
I'm surprised you didn't include a bit of a Shion Oraing him.
Again, by
also...
this point, I was very tired and stressed, and I just found the first one I could find on Sakagaburu.
Fair. To be fair, this is a really good
It's also a
fight.
really good scene. Um,
The entire fight is great because it's mostly just Shion being the ever-loving shit out of Clayman.
that would be sort of why I didn't pick it.
I mean, that's part of the reason I didn't pick Rimuru versus Clayman, because that's even more one-sided.
Interesting. So for my runner-up, Rimuru versus Clayman.
Yeah, I thought it was too one-sided and
I felt the same way about Shion's.
Yeah, but like Rimuru doesn't even take any hits. Like he just no-sells everything. Which,
I know.
as
Honestly,
satisfying as it is, doesn't make for an interesting fight.
honestly, I had such a hard time. I had such a hard time figuring out my runner-up. I flip-flopped between this and Veldora versus Milim so much.
Thor versus Mill was a very fun fight, but it was also completely stakeless because
Yeah.
Mill wasn't brainwashed and they were just fucking around.
But again, it's going through my fucking list of shows. You have Battle Game? No. Slime? Going through. I actually almost picked Shuna versus Adelman at one point.
That could have been interesting, but
yeah. Nighthead, which again I nearly picked. I nearly picked the clip I put for best animation, but I decided I'd rather put it for best animation than best fight. Aquatope, no fights. Sonny Boy, no fights. Idaten, go fuck yourself. Vanitas, we'll see. Bakarina, very few fights. Iruma
didn't have any well-animated fights.
Iruma, again, I nearly picked Iruma, but I also was struggling to get clips for the GIFs.
Iruma also just wasn't very fight-heavy.
If honestly, if there had been a YouTube clip of the of Kalego's group versus the dragon thing, I think it was Blue Mountain, something like that. I probably would have ended up picking it, but it wasn't, so I would have had to do the whole kerfuffle with Crunchyroll again, and I didn't want to do that.
Fair.
D-side.
There was also the possibility of Amari versus the Rat thing, but that was very one-sided.
Again, yeah, I did like it, but again, D-side, just not enough fights that I really enjoyed. Kageki, no fights. Remake, no fights. And Fena, again, just hasn't had that many interesting fights. So yeah, I kind of had to go for Rimuru versus Clayman, and I just went for it because I enjoy seeing Rimuru cut loose whenever it happens.
It is fun to see. I just felt like Shion versus Clayman was a bit more viscerally satisfying.
Again, that's
and a bit less one-sided.
Again, I didn't pick Shion versus Clayman because I thought it was one-sided. I thought at least Clayman got some attacks off at Rimuru even if they didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's fair. To be honest, both of them were very one-sided fights.
They were incredibly one-sided fights. Most of the fights in Slime were one-sided, honestly.
Yeah, as for winners...
So, Jack, your winner is Elmer versus Toru from Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Jesus Christ, look at that animation.
It is so fucking gorgeous. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I wish I was able to nominate it, honestly.
You should really just watch Dragon Maid. Look, I get why you wouldn't want to, but it's still like Holy shit!
You will see
Kyoto
in the
anime.
next category why I'm viscerally opposed. I will make that very clear. Uh, but
All
yeah,
right, what's your winner then? Because this one wins partially because of the emotional stakes for me, because it's a nice culmination for Elma's character arc so far. Just her having it out with Toru
yeah,
over their differences in their past relationship. But also, it is just one of the single best animated sequences I've seen this year.
yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Uh, my winner has no stakes. Well, not really stakes. But I just really enjoyed the fight. Noe versus Roland from Case Study of Vanitas. I
Nice.
just thought it was a really cool fight.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like
Uh,
it's there weren't that many fights in the show, so it was all the more plain that when we got this fight that yeah, this is Bones doing this.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised you didn't nominate Hiro Aka for anything on this.
By when I was doing the well,
Uh,
this particular core of My Hero didn't have any particular fights that I was overly invested in.
Fair.
Because Izuku doesn't get really any fights other than the one at the Endeavor agency arc, and
Mm.
that's not really best fight material. And then you have My Villain Academia, where as I said, I just couldn't really. Not to mention, it was more chaos than fights, I would say.
Mm.
If I was gonna pick somebody to have picked a fight from, it would probably be Twice, but he was rather all over the place. Like
Yeah.
the only fights that really happened were Toga versus the journalist and her crew, and again, I just don't really like Toga. Um, Darby versus Geten, which doesn't really get much of a resolution. It just sort of ends when Gigantomachia turns up. And then you've got Shigaraki versus Redestro, which is very much just Shigaraki remembering his incredibly tragic backstory and then disintegrating the shit out of everything.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, that's fair.
like that's my rationale for not picking a My Hero fight.
I
Um,
honestly couldn't think of one to really rank here because, like,
yeah.
my winner and runner-up were pretty solid as
Mm.
is.
As I said, I really enjoyed the fight between Noe and Roland. Like getting to see Noe actually show off some combat ability was great. Roland's fucking sword was badass. And as I said, it's just so well animated, and you do realize at that point that yeah, even though there hasn't been much action throughout the rest of the show, yeah, this is a Bones show for sure.
Hmm.
But moving on to our penultimate category, best sequel. Jack, your runner-up is My Villain Academia, aka My Hero
It,
Academia Season 5.
it was hard to choose between this one and Slime's Part 2,
Hmm.
honestly.
Yeah.
Like, they're both really entertaining parts, but the Endeavor Agency stuff and My Villain Academia are really good arcs, in my
Hmm.
opinion, and they build up to the next arc really well.
Yeah.
Not to mention fleshing out the villains and doing a good job of handling Endeavor's character arc in a way that isn't like insulting
Hmm.
is really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel justified in putting this as runner up.
It is interesting that you should mention Slime because that is my runner-up.
Nice. Yeah, honestly, it was between Slime and Hiroaka for my
Hmm.
season, for my runner up for sequel.
I should point out that this is technically third because My Hero is at the top because I'm incredibly biased and I do not apologize for that at all. But yeah, Slime Slime Part 2, Season 2, Part 2, it's just been good.
Yeah.
I honestly thought I'd get bored of the talking at the start, but I never actually really did. And all the
It
fighting.
helps. I think it helps that the talking actually progresses the plot
Yeah.
and goes somewhere.
I do think the introduction of the new characters or the new character helped as well as a few old ones coming in to just add new dynamics.
Hmm.
And yeah, the action in the second half of the core was superb. No surprise for your winner, Jack. It's Dragon Maid. I hate that I had to use this picture.
Oh yeah, because of the Lulu.
Yes, I
Yeah, her character design's kind of eh.
I tried my hardest to find one that wasn't that, but I couldn't.
Sorry, dude.
I know.
If it makes you feel any better, she ditches that outfit really early on in the season.
I know, but still frustrating. Still,
Yeah, that's
still frustrating that I have this on my computer now.
you can always delete it.
I know, I will probably. I need to delete a lot of stuff. I downloaded a lot of stuff for this. I should delete it.
Mm.
Anyway, my winner for best sequel. Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun Season 2.
Yeah, that tracks.
Because I really enjoyed the second half of this core. I thought it was excellent. Because, as I've said in previous streams, I was very worried when the theme park arc was looking like it was going to be several episodes long. And considering the last, or certainly the several episode long arc in Season 1 that tried to be a shonen, I felt I had justified worries that ended up being nothing because Iruma-kun really did well with it. And you know, that's not even mentioning the humor of the fucking home visits. Um, poor Kalego.
Oh god.
poor Kalego.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Iruma staying at Clara's house with Oz, and then the date and Iruma starting his plan to take over the world.
What an adorable little conqueror.
Yeah. That is exactly what everyone is going to say. That is 100%. That is 100% what Sullivan is going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, look at my cute grandson take over the demon realm. Oh. But in Kiryu's voice.
Yes. But anyways, now it is time to move on to our final category. And I think y'all know what it is at this point.
Anime of the season.
Now, you want to run through the top 10 like last time, or do you want to just go into our runners and the winners?
Well, here's the thing. Let's just do runner-up first, and then we can go through the rest. Well, let's just do both of them at the same time, because once again, incredibly in sync. Runner-up for both of us, Aquatope on White Sand. Winner for both of us, Kageki Shoujo.
Yeah, it really couldn't have been anything else.
Yeah, it wasn't
us.
close. It wasn't that close.
Yeah, Aquatope, it was my front runner for the longest time, but I feel like just there were bits and pieces here and there that just kept dragging it down ever so slightly.
Hmm.
Whereas Kageki Shoujo just like has always been consistently strong, in my opinion, and I just love how well it handles its everything, really.
Well, for me, again, as you said, Aquatope was top for me for probably the first half of the season, I would say, and then it just started becoming more and more apparent the heteronormativity was kicking in, and Fuka was getting sort of less screen time.
Sideline.
Meanwhile, fucking Kageki Shoujo just kept getting episode after episode after episode of quality stuff. I don't think Kageki Shoujo had a bad episode.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I can't think of an episode where I went, this wasn't really as good as the others.
I mean, I can think of some episodes that really stood out as especially strong, but not the other way around.
Yeah. But yes, we can do the rest of our lists if you want to kick us off.
All right, my number 10 was probably, by process of elimination, Duke of Death.
My technically number 10... Actually, my number 10, despite the fact that I dropped it well before number 11, is Peach Boy Riverside, with number 11 being Battle Game. So I actually only finished 9 new shows this season.
Hot damn. Yeah, Idaten was in my top 10 for a while, but then the final few episodes just fucked the rating over really hard.
Yeah.
And now it plummeted well out of the top 10 for me.
So you're number 9?
Number 9 is probably Tsukimichi.
My number 9 is Idaten, the lowest ranked show that I finished. Your number 8?
Number 8 is Fena.
My number 8 is D_side Traumerei the animation. Because while it was definitely better than Idaten by virtue of not having rape in it, which is the lowest of low bars.
I mean, the depiction of rape in and of itself is not necessarily a mark against the show. It's the handling of that depiction.
And Idaten fumbled it like they had butter-covered fingers.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, number 7 for me is Realist Hero.
Number 7 for me is Nighthead 2041, because it's above D-side, because D-side had a couple of... Well, it had the whole Ryuhei being a dick to Randa thing. Rando? I can't remember. As well as a couple of iffy episodes in terms of the message. Whereas Nighthead, the plot rather fell apart, but it was still fairly enjoyable.
All right, number 6 for me is Jahy-sama. Market improvement, honestly. Like, the show just keeps getting better and better in my eyes.
I'm glad for it. Number 6 for me, Case Study of Vanitas. Enjoyed it immensely. Can't get over the fact that Vanitas is very skeevy.
Interesting that you say that, because number 5 for me is Case Study of Vanitas, for much the same reason.
It could have been top 3 if Vanitas hadn't been a fucking skeeve.
Yeah. What's your number 5 then?
My number 5 is Fena. I do think the lack of current skeeviness, I can't guarantee that Abel won't be skeevy in later episodes, but current skeeviness puts it at 5.
Yeah, I put it a bit lower just because, like, I don't know. I consider putting it at number 6, actually. Maybe I will re-rank the rest of my rankings, but for right now, it is for it. Number 4 is Sonny Boy.
Number 4, Sonny Boy.
Hey, we're in agreement.
Again, very good show, but just it's kept out of the top spots by
bizarre.
It's kept out of the top spots by the fact that we don't know what it's on about, and it's hard to. I'm already dreading having to write about it in my end of year write up because I'm not gonna be able to say anything.
Just write yes and the review.
Number 3.
It's funnier than. Looks like number 3 is mutually exclusive shows that each of us watched that neither of the other watched, and mine is Remake Our Lives at number 3.
Mutual exclusive shows, but both shows that start with Re, because mine is Remain.
So many shows that start with Re in the title.
And obviously Aquatope and Kageki round out the top of our lists, as they should.
Yes. But yeah, that's the end of our summer season. We'll be covering the beginning of the fall season a bit later than expected because of Komi-san premiering later than expected. But at the same time, the fact that Netflix is simulcasting it at all is kind of a fucking miracle.
I believe our premiere stream is the 23rd of October.
Correct.
In terms of other future streams, tomorrow we have D&D, continuing our Halloween experiment. We have been assured that all of us will get to do something, which is good.
Yes.
Tuesday, I believe, is currently Mass Effect. We will be going to Ilos, having finished my last stream. We might be able to finish the game, depending on how long Ilos is.
Depends on how fast you play it.
We'll see. Depends on how many lives we're willing to throw away. Thursday, probably going to be more Psychonauts 2. We are going at a good clip. I think we are at the start of Act 3, though we still apparently have quite a bit to go. And then next Saturday is currently the rescheduled Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 3 Part 1 podcast.
Yep, hopefully we'll actually get to do it this time.
Mm-hmm. If not, we might play Psychonauts, we might do a Team Maker stream, who knows?
We shall see. In any case, thank you all for watching, and we will catch you tomorrow, hopefully.
Good night.
Later.